officers arrived on scene, made contact with an individual, was speaking with an individual, and during the course of the conversation, the individual was shot.
No word on what led up to that shooting or the condition of the person who was shot. No officers were injured in this shooting. Check back for updates. Your weather for today: cloudy skies, a few rain showers through the afternoon and evening. What can we expect as we head into the weekend? WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast. That'll come your way at 12:05. The FBI arresting a man from Virginia in connection with the January 5th and 6th, 2021 pipe bomb attack outside the Democratic National Headquarters and the Republican National Headquarters. Justice correspondent Scott McFarland's been following the story.
We know it's a man from Virginia arrested just after 8 a.m. Eastern time in the Washington, D.C. suburbs of Virginia by the FBI's Washington field office. We expect this man to make a court appearance as early this afternoon at the Washington, D.C. federal courthouse. And at that point, we find out not just the who, but perhaps of great importance, the why.
And 4 law enforcement sources telling CBS News that the suspect is 30-year-old Brian Cole of Woodridge, Virginia. Well, it's ranked as the 10th worst truck bottleneck in the country, and we have it right here in Metro Atlanta. We're going to hear updated plans on how they're going to transform the I-20, I-285 interchange on Atlanta's west side.
There are several different plans to reimagine the long congested interchange, including widening or reconstructing several ramps connecting the interstates, adding new off-ramps on a nearby side roads, and getting rid of others that can jam up traffic. The Georgia DOT will update those plans during tonight's community meeting, which starts at 6 at the Fulton County Airport on Aviation Circle. The interchange isn't even the worst in Atlanta. In fact, recent rankings from American Transportation put Spaghetti Junction in DeKalb County as the 4th worst in the country, I-75 and 285 in Cobb the 6th worst. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
And Georgia's getting millions of dollars for upgrades to 2 transit projects.
Most of the $27 million in federal funds awarded by the Federal Transit Administration goes to MARTA. Just under $21 million will be used to buy 30 new American-made buses. They'll replace older vehicles in MARTA's fleet. Cobb County's BEEP gets $6.6 million to launch the Cumberland Autonomous Mobility Network. BEEP calls it big news for mobility in Georgia. It's the first autonomous vehicle project in the U.S. to receive a low to no emission grant. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
It is 12:03. Happening right now, a CDC advisory panel on immunization practices is meeting to discuss hepatitis B vaccines for newborns. ACIP member Dr. Cody Meisner questioning Dr. Mark Blackwell, who was part of a work group looking into the safety of those vaccines for babies.
There is clearly evidence of benefit. Is there any evidence of harm to giving the neonatal hepatitis B?
My basic answer would be that the safety evidence is very limited, and I wouldn't want to speculate on safety or harm.
Now, if the panel votes to change the vaccine schedule and it is accepted by the director of the CDC, it would be a major public health shift dating back more than 30 years. Georgians are living longer. Georgia experienced one of the largest increases in life expectancy in the nation in 2022, adding almost 1.5 more years. That according to new data just released from the CDC today. But even though we are living to nearly 76 years old here in Georgia, we're still ranked near the bottom of states. In the District of Columbia, we come in at number 36 on that list. Hawaii ranked first at the age of 80, and West Virginians live the least amount of years at just over 72 years old. And while we're talking about our health, new research finds that youth from low-income families are at a higher risk of suicide than their more well-off peers.
It all comes down to sleep. According to the University of Georgia study, low-income families face greater demands from caregiving or non-standard work hours, which can impact their ability to maintain routines for their children. The study also suggests that environmental stressors like noise or higher crime rates can lead to higher levels of anxiety, and that in turn impacts sleep quality. Researchers say that improving sleep quality and the duration is critical to addressing the problem. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
What did you Google this year? Google has released its annual Year in Search list, and Charlie Kirk and K-pop Demon Hunters, the top 2 in the U.S. Also in the top 10 were Labubu, government shutdown, and tariffs. And the number of layoff announcements this year has hit a 5-year high.
The outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas says there were more than 71,000 layoffs announced in November, pushing the total for the year above 1.1 million. That's the most since 2020, the first year of the pandemic. And it's a 54% jump from the same 11-month period a year ago. Companies that are slashing their payrolls have cited corporate restructuring, tariffs, and the switch to AI.
And correspondent Michael Wallace says ADP reported private employers cut 32,000 jobs in November. That's the biggest drop in more than 2 years. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Sabrina, seeing a little bit of volume developing for this lunch hour through Midtown on 75-85 south from 17th Street as you pass Georgia Tech. Northbound a little slow as well with that I-20 merge getting up to Freedom Parkway. And still dealing with that left lane construction in DeKalb. 20 eastbound right around Panola Road. That police activity in Sandy Springs shutting down Dunwoody Place. Easy way around it. They can reroute you through the shopping centers or just use Roberts Drive to avoid that. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Your 5-day forecast sponsored by Shoemate, the official plumber of Atlanta.
Cloudy skies and cool for this afternoon. Highs in the upper 40s. A few hit or miss rain showers moving through the metro area. A few showers for tonight. Lows in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, widespread rain showers for the metro region. Staying cold with highs in the mid 40s. As much as half an inch to 1 inch of rainfall possible through Friday evening. Saturday, drying out. Mostly cloudy. High near 50. A little more sunshine for Sunday with a high of 52. Monday, mostly cloudy with highs in the upper 40s to low 50s.
44 degrees in Milton, 45 in Canton. Here in Atlanta, we have 45 degrees. We'll have more news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
My fellow Americans, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number 877-973-7425. We got to talk about the breaking news. It appears we have a bomb suspect in the January 6th pipe bombing of the DNC and the RNC. Now, for those who don't remember this, on January 6th, there was this weird situation of a pipe bomb that was found in D.C. at the RNC and at the DNC. There were a lot of questions about it, and there were a lot of conspiracists on the right. Remember, if I'm going to be real honest with you, there is this ongoing conspiracy theory on the right that January 6th was all a bunch of FBI agents encouraging people to get in. And in fact, there was a report out about the number of FBI agents that were put on the street in plain clothes on January 6th. That's been used as a conspiracy theory to amplify this. The president's team themselves amplified that, and what they totally missed was that that report was about after the riots began. Those FBI agents went onto the street. They weren't there first. They totally lied about it to try to perpetuate a false narrative to benefit the right, to benefit the president. The left and the right like to lie to each other in public about what's going on. They like their preferred narratives, and that's one on the right. And so in addition to this belief that, remember, at first it was all Antifa, then it was FBI agents, people on the right for a long time began to believe that it was actually the FBI agents who were planting the pipe bombs to make Trump supporters look bad. The Blaze came out very recently. I don't know what's happened to The Blaze. It is embracing the Nick Fuentes crowd, it seems like. They've just completely descended, it seems, in my mind, to madness. And increasingly becoming unhinged. An innocent woman was blamed by The Blaze. A federal security officer was linked to the pipe bombing attack, cleared her name. She has an alibi, a video of her playing with her puppies at the time the devices were placed. The FBI has ruled her out as a suspect in the plot, but The Blaze was so desperate to tie this whole grandmaster conspiracy together to blame the federal government for January 6th and completely lie about what happened on January 6th that they named an innocent woman as the suspect based on a walking profile. That if you matched the cadence of the walk of the masked pipe bomber and you matched the cadence of the walk of this woman, who I'm not going to name because she's innocent, you had the same person. I await her lawsuit against The Blaze. Boy, did they get out over their skis, and they deserve what's coming based on the information we have. The name of this suspect appears to be, making sure I have it right, Brian Cole of Virginia. This is from the New York Post. The suspect arrested for planning pipe bombs outside the Republican and Democratic National Committees ahead of the January 6 riots has been identified as Brian Cole Jr. of Virginia. Cole, age 30, was busted by the FBI Thursday morning in connection to the attempted bombing just shy of the 5th anniversary of the riots. Sources told the Post investigators were looking into his possible connection with some form of anarchist writings or leanings, though specifics were not immediately known. Authorities said Cole was the man caught on camera skulking around the capital city the night before former Vice President Joe Biden's election victory was to be certified by Congress, leaving viable explosive devices outside the major party headquarters in D.C. The video showed him carrying a backpack, wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, mask, gloves, glasses, and a pair of Nike Air Max Speed Turf sneakers. The devices were found the following afternoon just as Congress was convening, and they've had a search for this man ever since. You know, so the conspiracy on the right has been that it was a federal agent, that it was the feds. They were trying to make Trump supporters look bad. But the left as well concocted a theory. The left's theory was that this was a Trump supporter, and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were never going to look into it. This is where the left was. The right had its conspiracy theory to its side. The left's conspiracy theory was that it was obviously a Trump supporter trying to blow these institutions up because they were anti-establishment, trying to defend Donald Trump. They knew that even at the RNC, they didn't really like Donald Trump. And so Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, they're going to cover it up. They're never, ever, ever going to attempt to find the actual bomber. They're going to bury the evidence. No, actually, federal authorities have been working pretty diligently this whole time, and they have found who they believe is the person. We don't know all the evidence. We haven't had the press briefings yet, but it's a reminder that both sides like to weave stories and narratives that leave out the truth to advance and placate the interests of their own sides. And oftentimes, those of us who are still normal and haven't been broken in this wild age of Trump, where, boy, people are just so broken, whether they hate him or love him, you gotta stay on the narrow, straight path of sanity and recognize that both sides at this point have gotten so tribal that they're willing to weave intricate tales that, in some cases, like with the Blaze, out name and blame an innocent person, and they like to tell tall tales because it makes them sleep well at night. You know, that's a lot of conspiracy theorizing these days. Conspiracy theories, there are a number of reasons in my mind. One is you want to simplify complex things. Another is you want to complicate simple things. A third is you have failed at life and can't bring yourself to blame yourself, so you must concoct a conspiracy of blame for other people. And oftentimes we see that on all sides. They have failed in some way, but they got to concoct a theory to blame other people. They can't accept blame for themselves. They can't accept blame for their own actions. They don't want consequences. The riots on January 6th weren't a good thing. The left, though, trying to tar and feather every Trump supporter as being complicit was a bad thing. This is where, you know, the other day I talked about the Reconstruction stuff. The left is now talking more and more. We need Reconstruction once we take back power. That's about all Trump supporters. They see every Trump supporter as the bad guy. And make no mistake about it, I'm not deluded. As someone who is willing to criticize the president, even this, I'm already getting hate mail. While I'm sitting here talking, I can see the hate mail coming in from Trump supporters angry with my take on January 6th. And what I am very mindful of is, despite me saying what I said, and I stand by it, when the Reconstruction comes, the left is coming for me too. So there are people on the right who say, well, you should double down. You should be with us. You shouldn't say these things. They're going to come for you too. No, I think I've got an obligation to the truth. Whatever the left does, I think the truth sets you free. And the left is deeply captured by lies. deeply captured by lies. People on the left, how many of you really believe someone can transition, that gender identity is real? That's a lie. It's a lie that has captured you and corrupted your party. How many of you believe that illegal immigrants don't get welfare benefits? You know, that's one of the weird stories we're having now that we're going to get into is just last year, remember, when Donald Trump was talking about all the illegal immigrants getting welfare benefits? What was the talking point on the nightly news? What were the fact checkers at PolitiFact saying? Illegal aliens don't get welfare benefits. And now, what is the talking point? Why, you racist, are you upset about illegal aliens getting welfare benefits? I mean, they went from they don't get them to, of course they get them, you racist. Why do you have a problem with it? Because it's being exposed in the Somali fraud in Minnesota. And you know, the new thing is, why are you calling it a Somali fraud ring? You don't call organized crime by white people a white mob. Well, that's actually what you call January 6th, you people on the left, a white mob. But actually, we call it the Italian mafia, the Chechen mob, the Romanian hackers. The Somalis are from Somalia. It's a fraud ring of Somalians. Therefore, it is a Somali fraud ring. There's nothing racist about it, but you people want to scream racism to avoid the implications of it. The narratives they weave for themselves. The narratives that help them sleep well. We're going to find out about this Brian Cole guy. I know nothing about him. The information is slowly trickling out. I'm sure there will be an FBI press conference later where Kash Patel will yet again say something stupid. But at least we'll get some facts about this situation. We're also, by the way, getting facts about the situation in the Caribbean. You know, what have I told you guys for a very long time? When these sorts of stories about the Trump administration come out, wait a couple days and see how it changes. The story about, well, the guys were floating in the ocean and they bombed them a second time to kill them, came out over Thanksgiving weekend. And then suddenly the New York Times comes out and says, actually, it's different than that. They were trying to sink the ship. Those people died in collateral. Well, today there are new revelations that completely undo the Washington Post story. That they weren't floating in the water, clinging to debris as claimed. They climbed back into the boat and were attempting to save the drugs and in contact with another narco-terrorist vessel to come save them. Wow, how the story has changed. But you see, the left wanted you to believe that Pete Hegseth was a war criminal. I kept telling you, let's see what comes out. We don't really know. Congress needs to investigate. They set the narrative. They didn't care about the truth. They set the narrative. That's what so much of all of the antagonisms in today's headlines are both sides setting narratives to try to own the other side. They don't really care about the truth. And don't deny it. People on the right do it too. The president's team does it. My job is to sort through it, to tell you what's actually going on. The left is trying to paint Pete Hegseth as a war criminal to delegitimize the entire administration. The Washington Post ran with the story that now multiple media outlets from the New York Times to ABC News are now directly contradicting it. When we come back, I'll play you the audio. Martha Raddatz, not exactly friendly to the administration, has the story. Await until you hear the facts.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1219 Cool Day Carrier Traffic Center. Got some better news with crashes I've been watching. One that was in the left lane in Cobb County, right next to the theme park, 20 eastbound near Riverside Parkway. That has cleared out of the left lane. And a crash just pushed off to the right from a left center lane, 7585 northbound, right at I-20 exit 247. So the brake lights behind it from University Avenue heading up into downtown will start to improve. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/stream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Clark Howard here. And each year we set a goal to provide gifts for every child in foster care across the state of Georgia. And we can't do it without you. Join me at 3 different Walmarts across Metro Atlanta December 7th, 13th, and 14th for our 35th annual Clark's Christmas Kids. Help make Georgia foster kids' Christmas wishes come true. For more information about how you can donate and for Walmart store locations, visit WSBRadio.com.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your Virtual Imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
Don't delay peace of mind. At Ace Hardware Home Services, we make it easier to upgrade your heating, cooling, or plumbing with flexible financing options. Whether it's a new HVAC system or a major plumbing job, our licensed pros get the job done right with payment plans to fit your budget. Call 770-233-7787 or visit acehardwarehomeservices.com to schedule your free estimate. Ace Hardware Home Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Looking out your window and see a different name? Don't worry, we're still the same.
It's Ted and Jonathan. North Georgia Replacement Windows is now NG Windows. It's a positive change because the only thing changing is our name. We've been the local owners for over 20 years and plan to keep it that way.
NG Windows. Shorter name, still committed to serving you Infinity by Marvin fiberglass windows.
Infinity by Marvin from NG Windows, yeah!
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Spend your time with those who matter most this holiday season and sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, and the best part, there's no stress. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. With more than 14,000 5-star reviews, trust the most experienced real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home without the hassle of putting it on the market. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There is no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Greetings, conversationalists. Don't forget to text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777. You can get the show notes, the live stream, the podcast, everything you need. Martha Raddatz is not exactly a fan of Donald Trump. The ABC News is not. In fact, yesterday, if you were here, I noted they did a minute and a half on the ABC Nightly News about Donald Trump's offensive statements about Somalis and never mentioned the Somali fraud scandal in Minnesota. In fact, they haven't mentioned the Somali fraud scandal at all on ABC's nightly news. Martha Raddatz, not exactly a fan of the Trump administration, and yet she is breaking some news here on ABC. She was the one who broke this as the boat situation in the Caribbean continues to evolve.
Believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs.
For some reason, that started in a weird place. Here we go.
And tonight, new information. According to a source familiar with the incident, the two survivors climbed back onto the boat after the initial strike. They were believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs. Because of that, it was determined they were still in the fight and valid targets. A JAG officer was also giving legal advice. So again, David, that video will be key, and Admiral Bradley will be on the Hill tomorrow behind closed doors.
Now, that was last night, so Admiral Bradley's going to be there today. Keep in mind, the original reporting is that the JAG officers, the lawyers, they were not consulted about the second strike. They were left out of it and didn't find out until after it happened. This contradicts that. And then they said they were floating in the water and they were targeted because of it. And that was contradicted by the New York Times that said, no, they were attempting to sink the vessel. The order was to sink the vessel. A second missile was required to sink the vessel. And now it turns out, as the story has continued to evolve from what the Washington Post originally reported and that CNN and others ran with, was that actually they weren't floating in the water. They climbed back into the boat, which was not sunk. They were attempting to rescue the drug cargo and pass it off to other narco-terrorists. And that's why they launched second. Completely changes the story, unless you're just a flat-out committed Trump hater. I got to tell you, again, my standard rule on these sort of salacious stories is you wait 24, 48 hours, you see what plays out. You are never, ever going to go wrong by waiting a couple of days when these sorts of stories from the press come out. Now, I will tell you as a side note, Laura Loomer is out on social media claiming that this was all a hit by Dan Driscoll, the Army secretary, who's actually friends with Jake Sullivan, and Jake Sullivan's wife, who's now a member of Congress, who participated in that video, allegedly donated money to Driscoll when he ran for office some years ago. Sounds like Loomer is grinding the axe against Driscoll and blaming him for this. There's a lot of drama in all of this. The president standing by Hegseth, and if anything, this sort of recovery of the storyline is going to protect Hegseth. If people were trying to push him out, this was the wrong thing to do. Doesn't actually make him look in the light that they cast him in. So, interesting development. They climbed back into the boat and were working with other narco-terrorists to save the drugs. Kaboom. Americans for Prosperity would like to get you involved with them around the nation. They get engaged regularly, and in so doing, they advance common sense conservative reforms across the country. Americans for Prosperity engages at the local, the state, and the federal level to rally conservatives to common sense conservative policy. In more and more cases, they're actually getting common sense Democrats, there are a few left, to advance some of their reforms around the country, particularly when it comes to reining in out-of-control state bureaucracies like the REINS Act. Even some Democrats are taking them seriously on this. They advocated for the president's tax cuts, mobilized an army of activists to get it done. They have mobilized conservatives around the country for school choice. They are deeply engaged in the fight for freedom in this country. They'd love to have you involved, even if you just want to be informed about public policy. Go to afpvolunteer.com today, afpvolunteer.com. Sign up with Americans for Prosperity today. Get involved with them. Advance the common sense conservative reform agenda across the country, afpvolunteer.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. We are following breaking news this afternoon out of Sandy Springs. There has been a shooting that involved a police officer. A 911 call about an assault brought the officers to the scene at the intersection of Dunwoody Place and Roswell Road around 10:30 this morning. Police Sergeant Leon Milholland says officers approached the suspect on a sidewalk.
During the course of the conversation, the individual was shot. We are now conducting an active investigation.
And the person who was shot has been taken to a local hospital, he says, in critical condition, but no police officers are hurt. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien has now arrived on scene. He'll have more for us coming up live at 1 o'clock, so check back. Cloudy skies, a few rain showers throughout the afternoon and evening. Highs right there around 50, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. An arrest has been made in connection to the pipe bombs that were put outside the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees in Washington in 2021 before the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Pierre Thomas has more.
Concerns that the bombs were somehow related to the riot complicated an already harrowing moment and prompted a massive response. Sources describe an incredibly dangerous situation. At one point, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris's motorcade drove right past the bomb at DNC headquarters, which had gone undetected.
And the man who has been arrested expected in court as early as later today. Check back for updates. Happening now, CDC advisors may vote to recommend pushing back the hepatitis B vaccine in infants. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices meeting today at CDC headquarters here in Atlanta. I'll be watching that for you. And applications for unemployment benefits fell to their lowest level in more than 3 years last week, potentially complicating the Federal Reserve's upcoming decision on interest rates. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now down 42 at 47,840. NASDAQ's in positive territory, but only slightly, and that's also the case with the S&P. It's 12:32.
'Tis the season. Have you gotten your flu shot? At All Care, our experienced flu specialists are dedicated to providing comprehensive and personalized care, from vaccines to testing to treatment. And you can walk right in to any of All Care's 15 Atlanta locations and access our unique combination of primary and immediate care under a single roof. For flu season and beyond, say goodbye to waiting for the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Clinically Integrated Network.
Dave Baker here for Artisan Custom Closets. Ever been looking for your favorite sweater only to find it in the bottom of the pile in your master closet, sitting on a wire rack, and when you put it on, you look like a waffle? Wouldn't be that way if you had Artisan Custom Closets upgrade your closets. Your clothes would remain beautiful all year. Schedule your free design consultation today with a certified master artisan designer at artisancustomclosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury over the holidays. artisancustomclosets.com.
It's my favorite time of year. I love spending time with family, enjoying delicious, nutritious food and bread. That's right, real bread, not the enriched stuff you see on the shelves. This is Sue from Bread Beckers in Woodstock with Sue's Healthy Minute. My family and I were blown away by the health benefits of making real bread from freshly milled whole grains. After more than 30 years in business, we have heard thousands of stories from satisfied customers who found improved health from eating real bread. We invite you to come check out the Bread Becker store in Woodstock this holiday season. We offer a complete line of grains, beans, sweeteners, and more. Our top-of-the-line kitchen equipment or infused oils and vinegars are sure to be the perfect gift for that special someone. Let us teach you how to make your own real bread to improve your family's health. Take that first step to a healthier life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Hi, this is Lee. And this is Brent. Lee Brent Jewelry and Watch Company is making Christmas better than ever with a sale of 5 to 50% off all in-store jewelry. Lee Brent has a large selection of gold, diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and sapphires up to 50% off. Even Rolex watches are on sale at 5% off. And remember, Lee Brent services Rolex in their store by their Rolex-trained watchmaker. And your watch never leaves the store, located in Sandy Springs in the Trader Joe's Plaza, or visit LeeBrant.com.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Hey, Sabrina, still watching the brake lights over there on the East Freeway. It's in DeKalb County. Construction left lane, 20 eastbound past Panola Road, exit 71. I-20 eastbound on the West Freeway, also a little jammed in from Riverside Parkway over to the West Side Perimeter, and crashed on the right shoulder downtown, 7585 north at I-20. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with a few hit or miss rain showers, high 49. Lows tonight in the upper 30s with light rain showers moving through. Tomorrow, cloudy and rainy with some heavier downpours at times, high 45. Drying out on Saturday with mostly cloudy skies, high near 50.
It is 47 degrees in Conyers, College Park, and Sugar Hill. We'll have more news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Charles Shea has died. You probably have never heard of him. You should know who he is. He was a decorated American Indian veteran. What did he do? Well, he was a 19-year-old Army medic and landed on Omaha Beach on D-Day and saved a lot of lives that day. Now, if you want real perspective on where we are historically from D-Day, he was 19 when he stormed the beaches of Normandy and died yesterday at 101. We are rapidly losing the living memory of World War II. Just for perspective there. Now, I got to move on to the Somali story. I want to play a clip for you. I need to play this audio. I have not actually heard this audio. That's fair warning to my board op. It's a press conference, so I assume there's nothing in it. It's, what is it, Pramila Jayapal? She's the leader of the progressives in the United States House of Representatives. She and a number of Democrats have filed legislation. Well, just listen to them.
Today to say enough. Our Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act has a remarkable, unprecedented 123 original co-sponsors. Before we've even introduced it, 123 co-sponsors, and it overhauls the detention system. It drastically scales back the use of detention. It ensures that every single immigrant who is in detention has their human and civil rights protected. Our bill also phases out the use of private for-profit detention centers. It prohibits the detention of children and families and makes it harder to detain primary caregivers and vulnerable people like pregnant women or seniors or workers who are whistleblowing on unscrupulous employers. It requires DHS to allow members of Congress to do our jobs and conduct those unannounced inspections that hold these facilities accountable. As an immigrant myself.
That's Pramila Jayapal, the leader of the progressives, Democrat from Washington State. 124 Democrats have signed on to legislation that will prohibit detaining illegal immigrants at the border. You'll have to let them into the country. Will require the United States government pay for lawyers to fight deportation, and will essentially abolish ICE internally. I wish you guys could see the look on Kobe's face right now. Yes. Your profanity will not bleed through the microphone. Y'all, this is nuts. This is they want to prevent the detention of people at the border. You're not allowed to detain people. You have to let them into the country if they cross illegally. You got to let them in, and you got to provide lawyers and make sure their benefits are not denied. Now, remember last year we were told that there were no benefits given to illegal aliens, and now we're being told, oh, well, of course we give them to illegal aliens. You racist, why are you opposed? Ilhan Omar is speaking out on CNN about the Somalis in Minnesota.
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
A lot of the guardrails, she says, well, a lot of the guardrails. You don't need guardrails for honest people. You don't need guardrails for the honest people. We needed guardrails. It was the Somali community. Y'all, it wasn't the Swedish American ice fishers of Minnesota that were engaged in this fraud, eh? It was the Somali immigrants. Here's a little more Ilhan Omar.
Well, it's certainly not. We know that Somalis, over 90% of them, are citizens of this country. Majority of them having born in the United States. And we know that if you are a criminal, you already have deportation orders, and there is an easy way for them to do that instead of creating this sort of fear where they are having raids. And today we saw them stopping citizens, and people were proving their citizenship by showing their passports. And so we know it has really nothing to do about keeping a community safe. It's actually terrorizing a community and
Actually, see, here's what happened. The Biden administration sent even more Somali refugees to the Somali community in Minnesota, and many of them have overstayed their visas now. And the Somali community in Minnesota is actually protecting them from deportation and hiding them as if they're hiding Jews from the Nazis. They really do believe that ICE are the Nazis. They're not supposed to stay in the community. They're not supposed to be here. They're illegal aliens now. And you've got a Somali police officer. Listen to this. This is a Somali police officer in Minnesota confirming that he will be protecting the Somalis from ICE.
ICE-kana laga ilaalinaya masha Allah abowe ICE-kana laga ilaalinaya safety-geena ma la sugaya.
What she's asking is, brother, aren't you going to protect us from ICE?
Masha Allah waa u jeedaa saaxiibayaal Carmel hadda waa shidan.
And he nods to her. Yes, I'm going to protect you from ICE. They're not speaking English. The caption, their police, brother, aren't you going to protect us from ICE? And he turns and looks at her and he nods as he's talking on his phone. You have Representative Delia Ramirez talking about Department of Homeland Security. Listen.
And his willingness to shamelessly use DHS as his own force of terror is only making visible what so many communities have already known to be true, that terrorizing is the point.
You got this. This is the talking point. Terrorizing is the point. They've clearly hit on this, that terrorizing is the point. This is Rob Bonta, the California Attorney General. They've decided to set up a website where you will be able to file reports on ICE activity in order to protect illegal immigrants. You'll be able to file all the relevant information of where ICE is on this website.
I'm Rob Bonta, California Attorney General, and I want to say thanks for being here. We are here to announce a new tool that we are launching today to protect the rights, the safety, the dignity of all Californians throughout the state during a time of profound uncertainty and a time of profound fear. Today we're launching an online portal where members of the public can report potentially unlawful conduct by federal agents operating in our state. And we encourage Californians who have concerns about the law being broken, a federal officer breaking the law, to report to us so we can assess the information. Over the last 10 months, we've seen troubling reports coming from communities across California, including unmarked military-style vehicles and individuals detained in ways that resemble abductions. And
right. You got that? Y'all, I got a side note for those of you on the right here. First of all, there's a difference between the Border Patrol and ICE. ICE tends not to be the ones who are running all over the place grabbing people. ICE tends to know their target in advance. ICE is the one that's blamed, but often it's Border Patrol that does the more cavalier mass roundups. I need to say this on the record. Don't get mad at me for saying it, because deep down it's true. Every time you arrest a citizen in the mix-up, it provides ammunition for the left to undermine the credibility of what's happening. So ICE and Border Patrol and Homeland Security need to dot all the I's and cross all the T's in advance. They got to do this. And they actually do need to focus on the bad guys first. Increasingly, among a lot of Trump supporters, they can't distinguish between the guy who hasn't broken the law once he crossed the border and the guy who actually is a gang member. Deport them all. There's a valid argument for saying that, but I've got to tell you, when Trump came in, he said he was going to focus on the worst of the worst, and a lot of Hispanic voters voted for Trump because of that. If you can't distinguish between the grandmother who's been here for decades illegally and the gangbanger who's terrorizing that grandmother's neighborhood who's illegal, you have a problem with the voters in the same way the Democrats have a problem because the Democrats don't want any ICE. Republican voters have a problem in that they're being overly aggressive with ICE. An American citizen is not required in the United States to have to walk around with their passport to prove their citizenship. And if that is the case in areas of this country, and I'm not saying it is, but that's the allegation, and if it is, that's wrong. You've got to understand the nuanced case here. Don't be mad at me for telling you the truth, because the truth is there will be a voter reaction against the right if they overplay their hand and are too aggressive. We want all the illegal aliens detained, but you got to start with the criminals first and then build the case for the rest of them. On the left, though, they've doubled down on the opposite extreme. It's both sides are extreme. On the right, it's every single person who is here illegally. There's no differentiation between them. They're all lawbreakers. Get them all out now. There's no priority between the gangbangers and the drug dealers and the grandmothers and the workers who are working for the landscape company. They're all the same. Get rid of all of them. That may be true to you, but to a lot of people it's not, and there will be backlash. In the same way on the left, it is we have to protect every illegal immigrant. They're all God's people. They're all welcome here. They should all be given welfare. No, that's wrong too. That is the bad position. And if you're forcing Americans to default, they're going to default on the far right side of deport them all. Why are we giving illegal aliens welfare benefits in this country? Why? We should not be. Minnesota's lieutenant governor is speaking out about this.
Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, Peggy Flanagan, thank you so much for coming in. From what we have seen so far, there are no signs of large-scale arrests and operations around the Twin Cities in this new operation. Do you know what the roughly 100 federal agents are doing in your state right now?
Well, what I can tell you is they're certainly not letting us know their plans. But what we do see is that they're coming in quickly, scooping people up. We're hearing reports of that from folks on the ground. But really what this is all about is striking fear into the hearts of Minnesotans. I just find it completely abhorrent, the comments that came from President Trump out of the cabinet meeting the other day and just yesterday, just the vile, dehumanizing things that he had to say about our neighbors.
You got that? This is all completely abhorrent. The president's abhorrent. They're just striking fear. This is the talking point from the left, by the way, that they're just striking fear. No, they're not actually striking fear. They're deporting people who shouldn't be here. Y'all, if the Republicans play this right, I understand some of you listening right now, you're going to send me hate mail and say, nope, they're all the same, round them all up. If you can't distinguish between the gangbangers and the drug dealers and Julio who cuts somebody's grass down the street from you and leaves you alone, you're going to provoke a voter backlash. You can win this fight if you just show a little bit of restraint and no racism. Because if you come out on this, remember that the goal right now to win elections is to just not look insane. When the Democrats are coming out with legislation, 124 Democrats saying, we want illegal aliens not detained, welcome to this country, given welfare benefits and lawyers so they can stay here, versus we're rounding up the gangbangers and the drug dealers. We'll figure out what to do with the rest of them once we get the drug dealers and the gangbangers gone. You come across looking reasonable. When you say, screw them all, we're rounding them up and we're shipping off to some country, we don't care where, maybe the desert in Africa, you look like a racist to a lot of people. You may not be, but you look that way, and you look crazy too. The American people are trying to find candidates who look reasonable, and it is a reasonable position to say there are a lot of illegal aliens here we can deal with later. Let's start with the gangbangers and the drug dealers and the violent ones, and then we'll move on and worry about the others later. And I think that's a winning position for the GOP right now. But you got to be able to nuance, and people don't want to nuance. The number of people who will yell at me for making the case that you just can't go in and round them all up because you come across looking bad to a lot of Hispanic voters and non-white voters who have been moving in your direction. They want the gangbangers gone. They want the drug dealers gone. They want the bad guys gone. And to a degree, they even want a lot of the other illegal aliens gone who came over during the Biden administration. But they're not concerned about the guy who's been here 30 years. And if you're not willing to make that distinguishing feature, you're going to cede some ground that could be yours to actually get these people out of the country. You got the opportunity to distinguish yourself from the left that's gone just absolutely insane and can't nuance anything. Just nuance a little bit. The left can't. You win the election. You win the argument. You preserve the power to be able to do these things.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Erick Erickson Show.
1251 Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center. Crash just cleared in Canton on 575 southbound, right around Highway 140. So those delays coming down from Highway 20 are starting to get better there. Right lane or left lane construction continues into Cobb County. This is I-20 eastbound near Panola Road. The delays find you just east of Wesley Chapel. Traffic brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Your favorite songs shouldn't have to wait for Wi-Fi. Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Buying a new car? Need help fixing your current car? What's the safest car for a first-time buyer? The Car Guys have the answer. Join Shelley Winter and automotive expert Kevin Deutsch this and every Saturday at 12 for all your car needs. The Car Guys, presented by Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, Saturdays at noon on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Cold temps can freeze water in the ground, wreaking havoc on your septic system. Hi, I'm Shannon, owner of Scorpion Septic. We can help. My licensed, insured, experienced team responds 24/7 with upfront pricing and high-quality work.
Take the sting out of septic service with Scorpion Septic, where there is never a pump-out charge with your repair. Details online, scorpionsepticservices.com.
ScorpionSepticServices.com. I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
Hi, this is Lee. And this is Brent. Lee Brent Jewelry and Watch Company is making Christmas special with a sale of 5 to 50% off. Also, Lee Brent services your Rolex in their store by their Rolex trained watchmaker. In Sandy Springs in the Trader Joe's Plaza, or visit LeeBrent.com.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Just joined us? No worries. Check out the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 stream at ericerickson.com. Available for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Greetings, welcome. It's Eric Erickson here, 877-973-7425. Jim in Springfield, Ohio. Welcome to the show, Jim. How are you?
Fine, Eric. Appreciate you bringing light to the Somalian community in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, because it's actually what's going on in central and southwest Ohio, and even up into the Lima, Findlay, Toledo areas is a replica of that. The Biden administration tried to establish these enclaves similar to the Somalian enclave with about 50,000 Haitians in the Columbus area, 30,000 in Springfield. Springfield is only a community of 60,000, and probably another 100 to 120,000 more southwest Ohio up I-75. The situation right now is DHS has already last week said they need to be out February 3rd. And that's already been, the Supreme Court's always ruled that's going to happen, although they did have an extension from August. However, this is all very similar in that there's a church, a Central Christian Church led by Carl Ruby, who is advocating for some of the same things that the civil disobedience, kind of the Underground Railroad, possible violence to protect these Haitians from leaving. And the whole advocacy thing is they know that they're probably going to have to leave, but they're doing what you just discussed in regards to raising money for legal assistance to try to keep them here, even though they're ordered to leave.
So I gotta let you go there, Jim, because I got a commercial break here. But you say this just so you guys understand. Yeah. There is the pastor he mentioned who calls himself a recovering fundamentalist who wrote a piece. The headline is "Civil Disobedience for Such a Time as This." The left can't distinguish this sort of stuff. It's an issue. I got to tell you about Hillsdale College. They have an actual class that is taught by Victor Davis Hanson on citizenship and why it matters. You can take that class for free along with 39 other classes at ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. The class is 30-minute video lectures. And depending on the class, depends on the number of lectures. I think Victor's is 7 or 8 30-minute lectures, and it's a deep dive into citizenship, what it is, how it comes about, how you uphold it, elevate it. Really good. They've got one on the founding of the American Republic and the Constitution, on early Rome, literature, economics, science, chemistry, you name it, they got them. 40 classes to choose from at no charge to you. ericforhillsdale.com. You sign up, you improve your mind, you get smarter about a topic. ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up with Hillsdale College today.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
This might help, young man. This might cure what ails you.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I run a stupid little radio show. I don't care. Have fun.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
Your friend, Eric Von Hessler, the Common Sense host.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care, and here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are part of healthcare sharing now because it just makes so much sense right now. And Medi-Share is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. Medi-Share has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's December 15th. Call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
News, weather, traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. We are following breaking news this afternoon out of Sandy Springs. A shooting involving a police officer. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien is now on the scene. He joins us live now with new information. Jonathan?
That's right, Sabrina. A heavy police presence remains in the area of Dunwoody Place and Roswell Road, where the shooting happened earlier this morning. In an update last hour, Sandy Springs Police Sergeant Leon Milholland saying it all started when they got a call about an assault.
Upon arrival, the officers made contact with the possible offender. While speaking with the offender pulled a weapon on the officers. The officers shot the individual, rendered medical aid, and then the individual was transported to a local hospital.
We don't know yet the exact medical condition of that person who was shot, but we do know that no officers were injured. The scene remains active and no names have been released. We just confirmed that the GBI has arrived on scene, and I'm told they will be leading this investigation. And Sabrina, we are expecting an update any moment from police, and we'll be sure to let you know as soon as we have more information. For now, reporting live in Sandy Springs, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
All right, Jonathan, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Your weather for this afternoon, rain showers later on this afternoon and evening. Highs right there around 50, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. As we look ahead, it looks like it's going to be a wet weekend for you. Sorry to say. There are reports that survivors of that September strike on an alleged drug boat were trying to climb back on board when the U.S. military hit it a second time. Sources say they were trying to retrieve drugs on the boat. Several lawmakers demanding answers, calling the second bombing a potential war crime. A Navy admiral telling lawmakers today that there was no order from Defense Secretary Hegseth to kill all survivors in that boat strike. The FBI has arrested a man from Virginia in connection with the January 5th and 6th, 2021 pipe bomb attacks outside the Democratic National Headquarters and the Republican National Headquarters. Correspondent Scott McFarland's following the story. He says that while the devices did not detonate, they did have an impact on the events on January 6th.
We know it's a man from Virginia arrested just after 8 a.m. Eastern Time in the Washington, D.C. suburbs of Virginia by the FBI's Washington field office. We expect this man to make a court appearance as early this afternoon at the Washington, D.C. federal courthouse. And at that point, we find out not just the who, but perhaps of great importance, the why.
And of course, we'll be following that story, so check back for updates. And Instagram experienced an outage worldwide, and the parent company Meta not saying much about it. It is not clear at this time if it's a technical issue or a hack. We'll be watching that as well. It's 102.
The Georgia Spa Company just did something you don't want to miss. They've extended their Black Friday sale through Sunday. That means the biggest savings of the year, well, they're still happening. If you've been waiting to upgrade your health, your recovery, your downtime, your relaxation, now's your chance. Hot tubs to melt the stress away, swim spas for fitness without the gym, saunas and cold plunges to help you feel better, sleep better, live better. Don't let the extended Black Friday sale at Georgia Spa Company slip past you. Go to georgiaspacompany.com to find the closest location.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
It's my favorite time of year. I love spending time with family, enjoying delicious, nutritious food and bread. That's right, real bread, not that enriched stuff you see on the grocery shelves. This is Sue from Bread Beckers in Woodstock with Sue's Healthy Minute. My family and I were blown away from the health benefits of making real bread from freshly milled whole grains. After more than 30 years in business, we are more than a kitchen store. We are a real food store where you can get everything you need to make real bread for your family. Come to the Bread Beckers store in Woodstock this holiday season. We offer for a complete line of grains, beans, sweeteners, and other whole foods. And check out our top-of-the-line kitchen equipment, including grain mills, pressure cookers, freeze dryers, and more. Our infused olive oils and vinegars are a huge hit. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff will help you find the perfect gift. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
This is Andy Harris, president at Coosa Valley Credit Union, where we believe in the power of human connection. When you call us, you're not greeted by a machine, but by a real person who's here to listen and assist you. Coosa Valley Credit Union. We're local, we're kind, and we're here for you.
Findlay Roofing, the Roof Guys, are proud to support Clark's Christmas Kids again this year. Findlay will donate at least $15,000 to Clark's Christmas Kids. Time to replace your roof? Please think of Findlay first. FindlayRoofing.com.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
I-20 seems to be the trouble spot today. Sabrina just found a new crash in the left lane. Lithia Springs, 20 eastbound, Thornton Road, exit 44. Delays starting to fill in behind that. Looking for new trouble heading into Midtown out of northwest Atlanta. 75 south below Northside Drive, and left lane construction continues into Cab, 20 eastbound. Getting past Panola Road, exit 71. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cloudy and cool today, high 49. A few hit-or-miss rain showers for this afternoon. They'll continue into the evening hours, lows tonight in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, cloudy and cold, highs limited to the mid-40s. Scattered rain showers for tomorrow afternoon, tapering off in the evening hours. Dry but cloudy for Saturday, high near 50.
It is 47 degrees right now in Alpharetta, Lithia Springs. You have 47 degrees, and in Loganville, 48 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello there, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be delighted to have you. Before I get into phone calls this hour, there is news I must bring to you. I suspect you're going to like the news that I'm bringing to you because the New York Times really hates the news that I am bringing to you. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, surrounded by executives of the auto industry, has abolished Joe Biden's fuel mandates that were designed to end the fossil fuel burning vehicle. Friends, gas is good. Well, unless you're crop dusting your friends. Gas is good. Gasoline-powered vehicles are a wonderful thing. An American invention. Mercedes. Henry Ford. President Trump on Wednesday threw the weight of the federal government behind vehicles that burn gasoline rather than electric cars. Vehicles that burn gasoline sounds very much like pregnant people, doesn't it? As opposed to gas-powered cars, vehicles that burn gasoline. See, it's the burn gasoline thing. It's a key phrase. You think I'm making this up. Their word choice is deliberate. It could be a gas-powered versus an electric-powered vehicle. But they don't want to talk about gas power because power has a positive connotation. So it's got to be burn because burn has a negative connotation. So vehicles that burn gasoline rather than electric cars, gutting one of the country's most significant efforts to address climate change and thrusting the automobile industry into greater uncertainty. Remember, the Biden administration mandated something like a 50 or 55 mile per gallon, 50.4 miles per gallon efficiency standard, which is impossible to meet with gas-powered vehicles. The president rolled it back to 34.5 miles per gallon. I personally would say get rid of it altogether. But 34.5 miles per gallon is for cars and light trucks. is better than 50.4 miles per gallon. You know, the Congress got rid of fines. If car manufacturers violate it, they can no longer be fined by the federal government. That's a law. The fuel efficiency standards, the standards themselves are now watered down. They also got rid of the tax credits. Listen, neither side in the debate is really as free market as they should be, but it is far more free market, far better free market to get rid of subsidies on electric vehicles. Why? Why get rid of subsidies on electric vehicles? It's very straightforward. A subsidy does not reduce costs, it actually raises costs, and it can perpetuate artificial markets. If you want to buy an electric vehicle, God bless you, go buy an electric vehicle. I've thought about buying one. I thought about buying a Tesla. I actually like the Rivian SUVs better. They look a little more manly than the Teslas. And y'all, I got to tell you, no offense to the 20 of you that have them, but those Tesla trucks are the most hideous vehicle on the road today. The only people I think who really buy them are people who want to get a rise out of others, which actually kind of makes them debaggish that I want to provoke a response from others by driving this thing. None of you actually want that vehicle. I'm pretty convinced it's an atrocious vehicle. It really is. If you really want it, if you love it, you've got no taste, but God bless you. You could afford it and buy it. You signal you have no taste. But I think most of the people who bought it they want to provoke a reaction from other people, or they're really into buttons and gadgets. So my wife and I, we went to church with a guy. I'll leave his name out of it. I think his family listens. We went to church with a guy. If there was an electronic device, he owned it. He wore 2 watches. He wore an Apple Watch, and he wore one of those old Casio watches that had the calculator and stuff like I had in the 1980s when I was in middle school. He wore a little fanny pack. And in his fanny pack, I kid you not, he kept a mini tablet like an iPad mini. Every electronic gear you get, he had the iPhone. He also had the Samsung. He was like a Clark Howard, but also with expensive electronic taste. He had the cheap Android devices, and he had the Apple devices, and he would play with it. It was the craziest thing. He had all these electronics, gadgets, and gears. It was like buttons. It was like it was his tism. It was buttons, screens, touch devices. And I'm assuming there are some people on the spectrum who wanted the Tesla Cybertruck for the same reason. Buttons, screens, but it's a god-awful, ugly vehicle. And it's not really practical as a truck either. The Rivians, I think, did a better job there. I've totally digressed my hatred of the Cybertruck. If you want an electric vehicle, get an electric vehicle. I do like the rugged look of the Rivian better, but I don't think whether you want one or not, the government shouldn't be subsidizing them. They subsidize them because they're expensive, and the government hoped that they could help build the market. And government intervening in the economy, command and control style, to build markets is always a bad idea, and it actually builds inefficiencies. And what we're seeing is that some of these electric car markets and car companies, they're not actually providing stable growth. They were so dependent on government subsidy. When the government subsidy went away, they collapsed. It was an artificial market. And artificial markets are inherently inefficient and waste money. And the Republicans got rid of the tax credits for electric vehicles. If they're going to succeed, they're going to succeed on their own. This is a good story because there's an entire cost of living argument out there. Now, I will say one of the things that the Trump administration did as a tangent is they want to make it cheaper for those little cars that Korea and Japan make to come into the country. If you want big families, and the president wants big families, you got to give them cheap big cars. And to get cheap big cars, you need to get rid of the tariffs that are driving up the cost on automobiles, and you've also got to reduce the fuel efficiency standards. He's done one, he needs to do the other. We should lower the fuel efficiency standard even further. Let the market decide. Some people want a more fuel-efficient vehicle. They can advertise them as such. A little bit expensive on the upfront, but you're going to save money over time with gas. Some people will go for that, as they do for electric vehicles. But let them, the people, decide. I have a giant SUV. I got to check with my accountant to see if I can offset the cost of my SUV. I'm not sure, but I need to see about it. I like my giant SUV. I think my giant SUV is a good vehicle. It's a comfortable vehicle for my family. It's a giant boat. My wife hates to drive it. Philip had to drive it the other day, and he's like, this thing's ginormous. Yes, but my wife is not a light packer, and I need a large vehicle to handle all the luggage, plus 2 kids and a dog and all of their luggage. Americans should be given choice. What Joe Biden wanted to do was to deprive Americans of choice. It's very funny. Democrats talk a lot about how they're pro-choice, but they're only pro-choice if it comes to murdering a child. For everything else, the Democrats demand that you take one-size-fits-all policy that they want to give you. They want you to be forced into an electric vehicle or no vehicle at all. They actually want you to be forced into a city on public transportation. They don't like you rural Americans. They want your tractor and your combine to be powered by electricity. But where does the electricity come from? Natural gas and coal. They miss that part. They don't like it, but that's the reality. You're not going to get rid of this stuff. What the president has done is economically stimulative and will lower the price of vehicles. Also, we'll get rid of the auto stop-start buttons. One thing I don't like in my vehicle, the auto stop-start. But they had to put it in to comply with the regulations. So I got in the habit of I get in my vehicle and immediately push the stop-start button to turn off that option. This is good progress by the Trump administration. This is Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation.
Mr. Secretary, just one follow-up, and it's something that Mary and I talked about yesterday as well, though. Clearly, this should help bring and make cars more affordable in the short term right now. There's a longer-term question about a world in which China is able to make EVs at materially cheaper prices than ours, in large part because they are subsidized too, and what that ultimately means globally for American automakers, whether if they're not investing in the same way in EVs for all sorts of reasons, whether 10 years from now we're going to look and say our automakers are living in a regional or domestic market.
But is that my job at DOT or Donald Trump's job to force GM or Ford to invest in EVs? It's their job to look at the market and global demands. And if they see global demands for EVs are real, they should make those investments. But let's not force them to build cars that Americans don't want to buy in this country. We're not going to do that. And again, I think China loves the EV push because they control 90% of critical minerals. They have a corner on the market. Every car that's going to be sold is going to have Chinese parts in it and Chinese processed critical minerals in those cars. Listen, we have a lot of oil and gas here. We have so again, I think we should be responsive to global markets, but also to the American markets as well. And again, China wants this because China has a corner on critical minerals.
Yes. Here's Ford's CEO.
It's a really important improvement for U.S. customers. What you should know is that this is a victory for affordability and common sense. As the president said, we will be able to offer more affordability on our popular models, and we'll be able to launch new vehicles built in America that are more affordable because of this rule change. Frankly, CAFE was totally out of touch with the market reality. We were forced to sell EVs and other vehicles. We're not going back to gas guzzlers. We have a lot of EVs and a lot of hybrids at Ford. But now customers get a chance to choose what they want, not buy what we force on them.
Yes. Although I want the gas guzzler. You get a big car. I want a big, cheap car. Then home. The other thing, and by the way, Republicans are looking at this in Congress, and the ninnies are freaking out. The Republicans are looking at getting rid of safety features that are mandated by government bureaucrats. Do you really need the backup camera? One of the new ones is the emergency auto braking system. The government is going to demand that vehicles have in them an auto braking system that if they detect a person or a vehicle directly in front of the car, it slams on the brakes. Mine has it, and I hate it. Why? Because when I come into my parking garage in the morning, there's a car at the top of the parking garage that is parked. I'm not going to hit it. I know it's there, but my car, if I come in too fast, slams on the brakes. I spilled my coffee the other day. I didn't expect it to happen. It's literally the car came to a complete stop by itself, nearly gave me whiplash because the auto braking system kicked on. I wasn't going to hit the car, but my car's too stupid to know, and that's what they want in every car, and it drives up the cost. The rear cameras drive up the cost. The air pressure sensor in the tires drives up the cost. All of these little things drive up the cost, and there's always someone who believes, but it's going to save lives. It's going to help. What you don't understand is that it's making vehicles too expensive for Americans. You're driving up the cost of the American family. Every activity in life involves some sort of risk, including driving, and we have now burdened Americans overwhelmingly with these ridiculous costs. We're pricing families out of being able to buy cars in the name of the ninny-nanny state, saving lives by adding obscene safety features that are not needed in vehicles. When my son went for his driving test a few months ago, they made him turn his head around and look out the back windshield and use his mirrors to go in reverse. He didn't need the camera. It wasn't even, he wasn't allowed to rely on the camera. And yet these ninnies are like, we need the reverse rear view camera. There could be someone back there. Well, teach people to look. It's why we have mirrors. Stop forcing these costs on Americans because you found some reason to decide that everybody must use it because you think it's a good thing. And that's what it is. And it is typically females, just forgive me for saying that truth, are about to pick up the phone now and call and explain to me why we must have all of these safety features in vehicles. No, we don't need them. We're driving up the cost needlessly on Americans. What the president has done is a good thing.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
121 Coolray Carrier Traffic Center jammed up on the West Freeway through Lithia Springs, crash in 2 left lanes, 20 eastbound Thornton Road exit number 44. Over in DeKalb County, still got the left lane construction, 20 eastbound passing Panola Road, and a crash out of Northwest Atlanta into Midtown in the left center lane, 75 southbound below Northside Drive. Traffic brought to you by the Danny Did Foundation. The Danny Did Foundation expands epilepsy care in memory of Danny Stanton, who was lost to sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. If you or someone you know has seizures, visit dannydid.org for resources. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
have no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Y'all know I love Omaha Steaks, and right now the Sizzle All the Way sale is happening, 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com, and then use promo code ERICK, E-R-I-C-K, $35 off at checkout with my name as your promo code. Now, I will tell you, we got a box the other day, and I ordered the gourmet jumbo franks, not for me, but for a friend's little boy, 2.5 years old, devouring hot dogs, eating his mom and dad out of house and home with hot dogs. He was so excited to get them from Omaha Steaks. He's 2.5. He's not going to appreciate them like you and me, but it was an incredible deal. I actually used my name as the promo code. I got myself some New York strips. I got my wife some caramel apple tartlets, and I got some shrimp. Their fresh frozen shrimp is actually unbelievable. You can get seafood, chicken, steak, so much. omahasteaks.com. Everything's 50% off at checkout. Use promo code ERICK. Get an extra $35 off. Minimum order required. See site for details. omahasteaks.com. Use promo code ERICK at checkout.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. to restore your love life in just one visit. Call now, 404-885-8885.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. Everything you can imagine, from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway in Cumming. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
Imagine having your guests arrive for the holidays in your cluttered walk-in closet, disorganized pantry, dirt-stained mudroom, box-filled garage, and master closet with outdated wire racks have all been professionally upgraded to maximize their space and potential by the team at Artisan Custom Closets. Dave Baker here. Schedule your free design consultation today with a certified master artisan designer at ArtisanCustomClosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury over the holidays. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard. Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I ended up going to a dentist, and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found the Brooks Night Guard. You mold it at home to the top or bottom teeth. Other mouth guards go all the way to the back, which allows the back teeth to touch. This is where most of the grinding and clenching occurs. The Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Order your Brooks Night Guard today and get 10% off plus free shipping. Go to BrooksNightGuard.com and enter the code BRUX91. That's BRUX91. Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You may not agree with him, but he tells you the truth. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
Hello, America. It is Eric Erickson. I am delighted to have you. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Be patient with me. Be patient. I will, when I come back, take your phone calls. My producer is siding with one of the callers here, but Alan, stay on the line because I promise I'm getting to you when we come back. I've just got a limited amount of time here, and I do need to note for you, the FBI I will get the audio when I can. They're going to talk about Brian Cole, who is the January 6th pipe bomber arrested in Washington, D.C. He is, they're having some coverage now. Explaining this. As soon as I can get the audio for you, I will bring it to you. They found Brian Cole. He's the alleged suspect. They describe him as an anarchist who was out to wreak havoc on January 6th, planting pipe bombs at the DNC and the RNC, the Democratic and Republican National Committees in Washington, D.C. There's been a long-time hunt. Kudos to the FBI for this. They get a lot of flack these days. But the field agents of the FBI continue to be remarkable investigators, and they have done a remarkable job tracking down this individual who they allege, we don't know, we'll see what the facts are, they allege he's the pipe bomber, not who the Blaze said it was going to be. Boy, that is going to be a massive, massive defamation lawsuit if that woman decides to sue the Blaze for them outing her the way they did. With banks out there having all sorts of problems, regulators out there having all sorts of issues, Swiss America has been warning people about a secret war on cash. They are the nation's trusted leader in precious metals and have been for 40 years. They would love to help you safeguard your hard-earned cash from this secret war on cash. They have a report to give you. It takes less than 15 minutes to read. It can save on your retirement and finances. If you would like to get a copy of their report, The Secret War on Cash, all you have to do is call or text my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. They'll have War on Cash. Includes digital forms of currency. They're coming for your crypto. The government wants you to spend with plastic because they want to be able to see what you're buying. They don't like it that you're using cash and crypto. Get the Secret War on Cash report completely free. All you do is mention Eric, E-R-I-C-K, when you call or text 800-289-2646. That's 800-289-2646. The report's at no charge to you. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. Put your information in. Or if you just don't want to talk to people, just text them Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. Swiss America will help you. Message and data rates may apply.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. There has been a shooting in Sandy Springs involving a police officer. A suspect is at the hospital right now. The shooting happened at the intersection of Dunwoody Place and Roswell Road. Sergeant Leon Milholland with Sandy Springs Police tells us officers were talking to an assault suspect when a gun was pulled.
During the course of the conversation, the individual was shot. We are now conducting an active investigation.
And the GBI is now on the scene investigating. No word on the suspect's condition. No officers are injured. Your weather for today, a few showers throughout the afternoon and evening, highs right there around 50. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Also new this half hour, the CDC's advisory panel on immunization practices meeting here in Atlanta. Discussions are underway on possibly changing the recommendation for the hepatitis B vaccine. They were supposed to vote on that around 2:30, but they have now decided to delay the vote until tomorrow morning. They want more time to consider it. Since 1991, CDC has recommended vaccination against the liver infection at birth. Dr. Paul Offit, a pediatric vaccine expert, says that hepatitis B is very contagious. It's best to protect newborns, he says, as soon as possible.
If this vaccine was safer or more effective if you got it, say, at 2 months of age than at birth, you could at least have that discussion, but it's not true. So all you're doing is taking a risk with no benefit.
Now, a majority of babies who contract hepatitis B go on to have chronic infections. Georgians are living longer. Life expectancy in our state increasing by more than 1.5 years. It's now at almost 76 years. Women tend to outlive men. And having problem with Instagram, you're not alone. They are experiencing an outage worldwide, and the parent company, Meta, hasn't said much about what's happening. And tech contributor Ian Shear has more on that.
Outages like this do happen, although it's irregular enough that it's notable when it happens. Meta hasn't said why Instagram is struggling, though we have seen large companies like Amazon and Cloudflare struggle with technical glitches that affected a lot of the internet.
And so again, it is not clear if this is a technical issue or a hack. We'll be watching. It's 1:32. Stay close. We'll have live team coverage of traffic and weather coming your way in a matter of minutes.
Are you starting to consider a new roof, but not sure if it's needed or what it might cost?
Tim Andrews, if you're going to impersonate Scott Slade, you might want to add a little bottom.
A little bottom to it.
A little bass, yes.
I'm working on that.
Well, you don't have to impersonate me. We're both here for FGA Roofing.
I know them.
FGA Roofing offers their free drone assessment. And you'll know if it just needs a fix, a rejuvenation, or a new roof. They'll quote you a price, and if you mention Scott Slade, they'll take $750 off the quote.
What about me?
Mention Tim Andrews, they'll take $750 off the quote.
That's $1,500.
If you mention both of us. And here's the best part. That quote is good for 1 year.
With your good credit, you can take advantage of their 000 offer. That's 0 down payment, 0 payments for 18 months, and 0 interest.
They offer all types of roofs, from architectural or any of the high-end roofs like Slate.
Take the first step now and set up an appointment at FGAroofing.com. That's FGAroofing.com.
Or just Google FGA Roofing.
'Tis the season. Have you gotten your flu shot? At All Care, our experienced flu specialists are dedicated to providing comprehensive and personalized care, from vaccines to testing to treatment. And you can walk right in to any of All Care's 15 Atlanta locations and access our unique combination of primary and immediate care under a single roof. For flu season and beyond, say goodbye to waiting for the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Clinically Integrated Network.
We weren't planning on selling our home, but our family's needs changed. I'm Caitlin, and selling our home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate was the best decision we made for our family. With over 11,000 five-star reviews, I had peace of mind knowing I could trust Mark Spain Real Estate to sell our home fast and for more than we were asking. If you're preparing to move, check out Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer. Go to markspain.com and see what their guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. That's markspain.com and start packing.
If your home smells musty and moldy, don't wait. Moisture and mold not only produce that old home smell, it can even weaken your home's foundation. At American Crawl Space Solutions, we stop the problem at its source. From encapsulation and waterproofing to mold remediation and foundation repair, we give you the right solution without high-pressure sales tactics. Get peace of mind with American Crawl Space Solutions, your best value in crawl space repair.
American Crawl Space Solutions. Foundations too.
Live team coverage of traffic and weather. Here's Alex Williams.
Travel advisory through Lithia Springs. Crash 2 left lanes, 20 eastbound at Thornton Road, exit 44. You can use Highway 78 Veterans Memorial Highway as an alternate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with a few hit or miss rain showers, high 49. Lows tonight in the upper 30s with light rain showers moving through. Tomorrow, cloudy and rainy with some heavier downpours at times, high 45. Drying out on Saturday with mostly cloudy skies, high near 50.
We have 48 degrees here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Hello, my friends. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. Let's go to the phones, waiting patiently. Alan, you're going to be up next. Welcome to the show, Alan.
Well, thank you very much. Glad to be here.
What's going on?
Well, I was fortunate enough to be tuned in and listen to your last hour. And, you know, as I was listening, especially when that last caller came in, a lot of question marks started popping up in front of me. And I thought, you know, I guess these are questions you could answer. But when we talk about the Somalis, we talk about the issues with the fraud, with how they're coming into our country to do us harm that way. We heard that guy talk about the Haitians and how they've been moved in, and we know we've heard before about troubles with them. And then we're dealing with all these millions of people from Mexico and South America, and we focus at this point on just getting the bad guys. So how do we look at the Somalis? How do we look at the Haitians? And then where do we draw a line on which group of invaders that we only pick out the worst to send back home?
You know, so I don't think it's a picking out which group to send back home. It's prioritizing. Who do we go after first, second, third? I do think there's an argument to be said, for example, that a lot of the Somalis actually are American citizens who are involved in these problems in Minnesota. We shouldn't forget that. By the way, the Minnesotan government says how much they contribute to the economy, that it's some large amount. But if you do the math, it amounts to these people are making about $6,500 a year. So not exactly producing a lot of growth for the economy in and of themselves. But let's take the Haitians and the Somalis who have come over in the last number of years because they have sought refugee status. They've been given temporary rights. The temporary rights have expired. Send them home. The people whose permissions to stay in the country have expired. It's time to send them home. The people who are criminals, have a criminal record beyond just crossing the border, let's send them home. The people who are affiliated with gangs, let's send them home. Start there. That's a significant portion. Once we've gotten there, the president has secured the border. Let's start talking about, okay, now, what do we do as far as getting rid of the people who have been here for 30 years? And what do we do about the kids who have been here for a very long time and they don't know any other place? They don't know home outside of the United States. That's, by the way, that's a real issue with the so-called dreamers, is how do we deal with even those people? But I don't think we have to get there yet. I think where we have to begin with is, let's go after the gangbangers. Let's go after the criminals. Let's go after the people who have overstayed their welcome and they're still here. They're supposed to be gone. Let's get rid of them. Let's start there. And we can nuance our way out of this. We can, in fact, say that we have priorities of who should be deported in this country. The deportations are the visa overstays, the people with criminal records, and the gangbangers. Let's start there, get rid of them, and then we'll worry about the rest after we've gotten rid of those high priorities. Focus our resources on them. And I think what we will see is that the conversations change over time. But if we're taking a very blanket approach of let's go after the grandmother who's been here for 30 years and let's go after the gangbanger, you're going to provoke a reaction from some people. And remember, I'm not talking about you. You want it to happen. But you yourself cannot get elected to power. You have to find ways to compromise with a coalition of people to get you majority support. Know when you're in the minority, even when you think you're right, people. And we've got lots of data out there, including exit polling data from Hispanic voters who are shifting back to the left saying, we want the bad guys deported. We just don't think you're deporting those first. You're going after the people in our community that have been here for a long time. So prioritize, and you'll have the Hispanic coalition with you. Prioritize. And frankly, one of the things we have to do, if we're real honest about it, is we've got to go in and do major illegal immigration deportations in the blue enclaves of the blue states that they're using to preserve their electoral college strength. Because they're using illegal immigrants to preserve their electoral college strength. It has nothing to do with propping up their economy. It has nothing to do with their contribution to society. It has to do with contributing to Democrats maintaining power. So go into the blue states and focus on the deportations in the blue areas of the blue states and reduce the numbers of illegal immigrants who are available for the census count. There's also strategy there. Now, Joe in Germantown, Ohio, I'm going to just read you the comment that my producer wrote, which is very rare for him to do. Wants to defend the tire sensor. Charlie says, I'm with him. Joe, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. Bear with me a second. I got to take it off speaker.
You're a good man. I like you already, Joe.
My fault. I apologize profusely.
It's all right. I'm surprised that Charlie let you on that way, but it's okay.
Well, I was actually on the phone, put it on speaker while I waited. Anyway, I'm a little older than you. When I went through driver's ed training in school, we actually had it in school then, the instructor made us walk around that car and do what was equivalent to a flight check on a B-17 going over Germany. Hello?
Yep, I'm listening.
Okay, making sure I didn't lose you. One of the things that always got me was you got to keep those tires inflated. Having that little light to say, okay, you need to check your tires, that's a great thing. The rest of it I think is trash, especially backup cameras. Thank God my grandson who just started driving does not have one in his car so he can learn to back up. But, to me, that was the one useful thing.
Look, I admit it's useful, but is it necessary when cars are now, the average cost of a vehicle now is over $30,000? We're pricing more and more people. I don't dispute it's handy. I mean, I find it handy on my car. In fact, my car now has a feature that I did not even know that I had. So when I'm out, if I've got a low tire and I fill it up, the horn honks so that I know I've reached the level.
Okay, that's a little bit beyond.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. But I didn't know I had that feature. I just want you to know that a couple of weeks ago, my tire sensor told me I had a low tire, and I'm standing there. It is the front driver's side tire, and it scared the crap out of me when my horn blew.
Fair enough. But again, that is the one thing that I'm willing to pay the cost for because it's, to me, a very good thing. And I don't have to walk around my car, check my tires.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
But you see, so this is my, I don't actually disagree with you that it's a useful, handy feature. But my point too is that do we really want to look a poor person in the face who needs a vehicle to commute because they live somewhere without public transportation and say, we could give you a cheaper car, but we're required to put all of these extra things in the car. I mean, I think, frankly, if you're a poor person, you got to maintain the car anyway. Yeah, so
and I agree with you.
It's so
But
handy.
that-
The tire sensor is
that's
so handy.
one that's worth it.
Yeah, for you and me, it is. Frankly, though, Joe, I got to tell you, I still think I had to learn how to change the oil when I got a car. I had my brother-in-law was a master chief of the Navy and a great auto mechanic. Still is a great auto mechanic. He's retired from the Navy. Taught me how to change the oil in my car, change the filter, do all of that, and check the pressure of my tires. I have my tire gauge that I keep in my glove box. I have shown my kids how to do it on theirs so that they know how to do it. I think it's useful. But again, we're pricing poor people out of the market with these things that you and I think are great things. But what about the poor person who needs reliable transportation to work? First of all, they should be learning how to keep up their car, so they should be learning the tire pressure. And they should be learning to check the oil and all that. Like, folks, that you have the thing you can pull out from under the hood and wipe it off, stick it back in, test your oil levels. You should learn how to do that. There are all these things. We're making it so easy for the car to do it itself. We no longer have to do it. But if we actually incentivize teaching people these things, we could lower the cost for people by just saying, okay, you don't need this in your car. I completely agree. The tire sensor is very handy. It's actually really handy now that I know it's going to blow the horn of my car when I've reached the level, so I don't have to keep popping my head back in the car or looking at the tire pressure gauge. It just does it. But my point is, for a poor person who needs reliable transportation, do you want your taxes to go to a public transit system in your community that you don't have but has to start because we price poor people out of cars, or do you want a poor person to be able to buy a reliable, cheap vehicle? And if you want the person to buy a reliable, cheap vehicle, more likely than not, it's going to be a used car, but still all that stuff adds up, and then it breaks. And you got to pay hundreds of dollars for labor and costs to fix it. I would prefer to not have all of these features on low-end model cars so that someone who needs a car can afford it, instead of me having my taxpayer dollars go to a transit system that only hauls a few people around. I've got a transit system in my community for poor people. There are some routes that are crowded, but most of them never are. But it's a massively subsidized system. We actually would be better off buying these people vehicles. It would actually save money. But oh my God, the environmentalists would go nuts. There are trade-offs to be made. And I think that what we have done in the name of safety, and let's be real honest here, why do we have the tire sensor? We have the tire sensor because environmentalists decided that for fuel efficiency reasons, it would be good to have the tire sensor so that if your car gets slightly low in tire pressure, you'll know to put air in your tire for maximum efficiency of your car to reduce emissions. That's actually why it's there. We're pricing people out of cars. And the rationale is, well, okay, but this only costs $500 extra. That's true. But the people who like the rear view camera say, well, okay, it only costs $500. Well, now we're talking $1,000. Which one do we pick? And then the wraparound airbags of the car. Every single quarter of your car's got to have an airbag. That's a couple $1,000. And then the auto braking system, that's about $1,000. And remember, they also now want breathalyzers in cars. Congress itself wants new models after 2027 to have breathalyzers in cars, that when you start your car, you got to blow into the breathalyzer. Yes, they actually do want to be able to have that installed feature in cars. And then some members of Congress are advocating mandatory drive dashboard cameras that the police will be able to take the video footage of if you're in a wreck. Let's add that cost. Let's add all these other costs. You can justify everything. Look, in an age of auto insurance fraud that is driving up the cost on Americans, if we require every American to have a dashboard-mounted camera that looks into the car and on the road so we can see into the car, is the driver texting or looking to the road? Did someone swerve in front of them and slam on their brakes? It'll eliminate a lot of insurance fraud. It'll reduce costs of insurance. It'll actually save people. We should make that mandatory. Why not? That's the argument for the review camera. That's the argument for the tire sensor. That's the argument for the airbags. That's the argument for everything else. Why not invade your privacy just a little bit more to reduce insurance costs? Because you'll benefit from it. You'll save insurance costs. Why not mandate dashboard cameras? You can justify anything. You can justify anything. And I just think that what we should be doing is justifying reducing the cost of vehicles for poor people. And to do that, we have to give up these things. If you want them in your car, get them. If you want the tire sensor, get the car with the tire sensor. If you want the rear view camera, get the car with the rear view camera. If you want the wraparound camera, get that one. If you want the self-drive feature, get that one. But if you want a poor person to be able to get the work so you're not subsidizing that person's life, let that poor person buy a car they can afford. And we'll all be better off in the long run if we can allow that person reliable transportation to go to work that doesn't depend on a heavily subsidized public transportation system. And we'll be able to stop worrying about food deserts, restaurant deserts, and all the deserts the left has labeled because someone is 5 miles from a grocery store. They can get in their cheap car and go. I think we got to rethink of these things. And kudos to this administration for being willing to rethink those things. And to Republicans in Congress, led by Ted Cruz on the Commerce Committee in the Senate, for rethinking all the safety features we're demanding in cars these days at the federal government level.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
150 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB Traffic Center. Had some trouble clear downtown, 75-85 southbound. I believe it's off to the right now between Freedom Parkway, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Brake lights continue behind it from 17th Street. Travel advisory crash in Lithia Springs, still in 2 left lanes. 20 eastbound at Thornton Road. Use Highway 78 and a right lane crash in Douglasville. 20 west near Post Road. Traffic brought to you by the Danny Did Foundation. The Danny Did Foundation expands epilepsy care in memory of Danny Stanton, who was lost to sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. If you or someone you know has seizures, visit DannyDid.org for resources. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When we came up with the idea for Clark's Christmas Kids 35 years ago, I told myself we were going to help every foster child across the state. But we need your help. To find out how you can make a child's Christmas wishes come true, visit WSBRadio.com.
Spend your time with those who matter most this holiday season and sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the strongest in the industry. You can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Hey guys, are you striking out in the bedroom? Because pills like Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra just don't work anymore. Here's how Choice Men's Health is solving PE and ED issues. Meet Dr. Katz, the expert in men's health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Choice Men's Health offers safe, custom-blended medications designed to fit your needs. There is no pain or surgery. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues. Not a problem. It's safe and affordable for everyone. You'll see results in 15 minutes guaranteed, or you don't pay anything. Solve the problem of ED and PE now.
For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are free. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. To claim your initial consultation and first treatment for free. Call Choice Men's Health now, 404-400-1170.
Wall cracks, window stuck, could be a foundation problem. Mark Beckham with Atlanta Ramjack, and our estimators are thoroughly trained to get you the proper evaluation for your home. Schedule your free assessment with the foundation repair experts at atlantaramjack.com.
Hey, it's Mark Aram here. My friends at Rocco's European Garage once again stepping up for the 35th annual Clark's Christmas Kids, helping make sure every child in Georgia's foster care system wakes up with presents this Christmas. Thank you to the team at Rocco's European Garage.
Each day at Ronald McDonald House Atlanta, we see caregivers walk through our doors with tear-stained faces, siblings with sleepy eyes from a long travel day, and the nervous yet brave smile of a child facing circumstances they can't yet understand. While these families are fighting for their children, we're here to help keep them strong. This is not just where they stay, it is where they're held. It is where they carry each other. Support families. Donate today at ronaldmcdonaldhouseatl.org.
The Georgia Spa Company just did something you don't want to miss. They've extended their Black Friday sale through Sunday. That means the biggest savings of the year, well, they're still happening. If you've been waiting to upgrade your health, your recovery, your downtime, your relaxation, now's your chance. Hot tubs to melt the stress away, swim spas for fitness without the gym, saunas and cold plunges to help you feel better, sleep better, live better. Don't let the extended Black Friday sale at Georgia Spa Company slip past you. Go to georgiaspacompany.com to find the closest location.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Get the podcast, live stream, email, and social media links by texting Eric to 33777 now.
Greetings. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number 877-973-7425. Let's go to Steve on the phones. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Hi, Eric. I'm good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I had a comment, and you made reference to it earlier, that the Democrats seem insane to us. And when I watch the news, I hear the Republicans come on and talk about how the Democrats have just gone completely insane. But I think the answer is completely obvious, especially with what happened with the Somalians up in Minnesota, that all these gangbangers, narco-terrorists, and you have it, who the Democrats now seem to love. There's an obvious reason, and that's it's money, right? The government doles out all the money to the Somali scam, or the NGOs, the nonprofits, and a little bit of that comes back to fund the campaigns for the Democrats. It's always the Democrats, but probably happens the other way as well. What are your thoughts? I think it's obvious.
Look, there are a lot of NGOs that are getting money from these things. They're being funded, and then they write checks to the Democrats. It's the same reason with illegal immigration in these cities, why they want to protect it, because it props up their electoral college numbers. Under the U.S. Constitution, the United States Census must count everyone who lives in a state, not every citizen. Everyone has been interpreted to mean legal and illegal. And so they count all the illegal aliens. They pad their numbers for the census to get numbers in electoral college, and that gives them a boost in the House of Representatives. It preserves declining populations of blue states where the citizens themselves are fleeing because of the tax burden. The NGOs get money from the government, and then they fund Democratic candidates through outside entities. And also, you've got a lot of money from left-wing groups and progressive interests that are so wackadoo and out to lunch, and they themselves push this stuff. It's not just the NGOs. It's not rerouting of taxpayer dollars. It's also, you got the Hewlett Foundation. You got the Soroses out there. You got all the big people in Hollywood, a lot of major CEOs in the tech industry, all funding this insanity. And by the way, I do think as well that the silver lining here for Republicans is that these guys are so freaking out to lunch. They don't relate to normal people, that it does give Republicans an advantage as long as you seem normal. Remember, the job is to just not out crazy the other side. It's to be sane. It's to be level-headed, or at least more level-headed than the other side. It's a real issue that you got to be mindful of out there, that you just don't be crazy. Don't be crazy, Republicans. You would be crazy if you missed an opportunity to call Vision Computers at 404 Compute and had them build a computer for you. You would be out of your mind to go to the one-size-fits-all big box store, when any one of you nationwide, from Anchorage, Alaska, listening right now, all the way down to Palm Beach, Florida, you can go to Vision Computers. Call them at 404 Computer. Go to visioncomputers.com. They can build a computer for you. Makes a great holiday gift. They've got great holiday deals. And then you get your managed IT services. So if you're on your computer, day or night, you have a question, an issue, a problem, you call a special number, 15 seconds or less, they're on the phone with you, an actual human being. Not AI, but an actual human being. And they navigate you through your problems. They can even remote in to help you fix your computer. Call them at 404 Computer. Go to visioncomputers.com. for your office. If you're looking to save money in the coming year, let them be your managed IT service. Instead of dealing with some AI algorithm, you'll deal with actual human beings. So your profitability is up, your online status is up, your employees are more engaged and good at their jobs, not their computers. Call them at 404-COMPUTE today, anywhere nationwide. Tell them Eric sent you. Save some money. VisionComputers.com.
All the notifications you need.
This story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
For many of you, it's happening. Your hair's thinning, your crown's disappearing, and maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. Well, I got good news. It's Advanced Hair's incredible, yet simple, one-day treatment that starts regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's Mark Aaron back with you. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what about regrowing your hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to their world-class physicians, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I've seen their results, friends. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. Gunshots ring out today in a busy area of Sandy Springs. A suspect is now in critical condition after he's shot by police.
Investigators say the suspect pulled a gun on police who were responding to the area of Roswell Road and Dunwoody Place this morning following reports of an assault. Sandy Springs Police Sergeant Leon Milholland.
The officers shot the individual, rendered medical aid, and then the individual was transported to a local hospital.
Milholland says officers are pulling nearby surveillance footage to get a better idea of what happened. The GBI will lead the investigation into the shooting. In Sandy Springs, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
47 degrees in Atlanta. A few showers today before the heavy rain arrives tomorrow. Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. This just in, the feds identified the suspect accused of planting pipe bombs near the Republican and Democratic national headquarters right before the January 6th Capitol riot in 2021. Brian Cole Jr. is from Virginia and was arrested today. He's facing an explosives offense. CBS's Scott McFarland says even though the devices did not detonate, they did have an impact on the events of January 6th.
Police have been clear. Those devices were discovered just as the rioters were approaching the Capitol January 6th and detoured and distracted police at a sensitive and dangerous moment, allowing the riotous mob to get further access to the Capitol grounds and eventually the Capitol itself.
Lawmakers get a classified briefing today on U.S. strikes on suspected Venezuelan narco boats. Congressman Jim Hines of Connecticut says he's disturbed by the video he saw of the September 2nd incident.
2 individuals in clear distress, without any means of locomotion, with a destroyed vessel, who were killed by the United States.
Hines says Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley said there had not been a kill-them-all order. U.S. employers are experiencing the highest level of job cuts since the first year of the COVID pandemic. A new report from outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas finds over 1 million job cuts have been made so far in 2025, which is up 54% from levels during the first 11 months of last year. Google is out with the top searches of 2025. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk was the highest trending search of the year. He was shot and killed while speaking at Utah Valley University in September. The hit Netflix animated movie K-pop Demon Hunters comes in second, followed by the collectible Labubu dolls in third. It's now 2:02. This news is sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Normally, they put a roof over your head, but this is the time of year that Findlay Roofing also puts presents under trees. Merry Christmas! It's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show. My friends at Findlay Roofing, the Roof guys, are proud to support Clark's Christmas Kids again this year. Findlay will donate $100 from every roof replacement between now and December 14th. Findlay has committed to donate at least $15,000 to Clark's Christmas Kids. Santa would be proud, and Rufus is proud too. And if it's time to replace your roof, please think of Findlay first. With over 65,000 roofs replaced locally, they've mastered the process with impeccable, high-quality work. 'Tis the season to give yourself the gift of a new roof while helping give a Merry Christmas to local foster children. Get started right now. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Hey folks, it's Scott Slade with another great tip from my friends at MyLend, Atlanta's local experts for home loans. So many people have credit card balances they don't pay off every month, which makes holidays more stressful than they could be or should be. The guys at MyLend say a great product to use to reduce the amount you pay is a home equity line of credit, or HELOC. This allows you to use the equity in your home to pay off high-interest credit card debt without touching your first mortgage. HELOCs are typically easier and faster to close than a full mortgage, so you can expect to get cash much faster. Whether you want to pay off debts or handle large expenses, HELOCs could be a great tool to use. To find out if one is right for you, call MyLend at 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Or online at mylend.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. And please tell them I sent you. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee 148769, located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLend is an equal housing lender.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
2 homes, same block, one sold for way more because they used Orchard. Move first, skip the stress, and sell for top dollar. Don't wait. Get your free home valuation now at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
It's 2:05. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. And some good news in Lithia Springs. Earlier crash has cleared from the left lanes. Everything back open. 20 eastbound Thornton Road exit 44. Still been dealing with a right lane crash out in Douglasville, 20 west before Post Road exit number 30. Construction is wrapped up for the day. They're picking up the last few barrels in DeKalb County, 20 eastbound near Panola Road. And a crash in Gwinnett County out in Tequila, I should say. Highway 316 eastbound at Hurricane Trail jammed up from Highway 124 in Lawrenceville. Use Highway or Sugarloaf Parkway as your alternate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cloudy and cool today. High 49. A few hit or miss rain showers moving through. Lows tonight in the upper 30s.
47 in Duluth and Fairburn. 43 in Cartersville. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome across the fruited plain. It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425. If you text Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 33777, you're going to get the live stream, the show notes, the podcast, all the social media links you need to stay in touch with the show, and so much more. I've got to get to a piece by my buddy Ben Sass. Ben was, as you know, the senator from Nebraska, the president of the University of Florida for a time. He has a piece in the Wall Street Journal today about the University of California, San Diego, and the crisis in education. And I want to spend a few moments on this piece. If you're not aware of the story, the Atlantic had a story on this that kind of blew my mind, and it was based on a report of a working group at the University of California, San Diego. And I want to just read for you part of the executive summary. This is from University of California, San Diego. Over the past 5 years, UC San Diego has experienced a steep decline in the academic preparation of its entering first-year students, particularly in mathematics, but also in writing and language skills. Between 2020 and 2025, the number of students whose math skills fall below high school level increased nearly 30-fold. Moreover, 70% of those students fall below middle school levels, reaching roughly 1 in 12 members of the entire cohort. This deterioration coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on education, the elimination of standardized testing, grade inflation, and the expanse of admissions from under-resourced high schools. The combination of these factors has produced an incoming class increasingly unprepared for the quantitative and analytical rigor expected at University of California, San Diego. The Senate Administration Working Group on Admissions concludes that this trend poses serious challenges both to student success and to the university's instructional mission. Admitting large numbers of unprepared students risks harming those students and straining limited instructional resources. The report offers a series of recommendations to improve the alignment between admissions practices, student readiness, and available support systems. You get this? 70% of students fall below middle school mathematical levels. Now, this is from Ben Sasse, who was the president of the University of Florida. Before that, he was the U.S. Senator from Nebraska. Before that, he was the president of a college in Nebraska. This is in the show notes today. If you text Eric to 33777, click the first link, get the show notes, subscribe to it. You can get all the links we talk about on the show, including this one. The number of freshmen entering the University of California, San Diego, whose math skills fall below a high school level has increased nearly 30-fold over the past 5 years, according to a shocking new report from the university's Senate Administration Working Group on Admissions. Worse still, 1 in 12 entering freshmen have math skills below middle school levels. This means college students might struggle with questions such as this: 7 plus 2 equals 6 plus blank. If you don't know the number, it's 6 plus 3. 7 plus 2 equals 6 plus 3. I hate math, and I know that one. 7 plus 2 equals 9. Therefore, what does 6 plus get you to 9? 3. 6 plus 3. Or this: Sarah had 9 pennies and 9 dimes. How many coins did she have in all? Sarah had 9 pennies and she had 9 dimes. How many coins did she have in all? Somewhat of a trick question. How many coins did she have? Not how much did she have. How many coins did she have? 9 plus 9. Or 99 cents if it was cost. I can do that one. Dimes are 10 cents. You got 9, that's 90 cents. Pennies are 1. You got 9, that's 99 cents. But ultimately, the answer is 18. How many coins did she have? Before exploring what went wrong, it'd be really embarrassing if I got that wrong, by the way. Before exploring what went wrong, let's begin by crediting the University of California, San Diego work group made up of faculty members and administrators for telling the truth. Sure, that's a low bar, but it's one that many other universities have lacked the courage to clear. The remedial math instructors and their faculty colleagues who stood beside them also deserve credit for sounding the alarm. The mass failure here is the result of 3 intersecting crises. The first and furthest downstream crisis is that a highly selective college could admit so many young adults who were so tragically unprepared. The fix to this problem is twofold. First, university administrators must acknowledge that the test optional admissions experiment has been an abject failure. They must reverse course, ignore the screaming of DEI dead-enders, and reinstate the SAT, ACT, or CLT, the classical learning test requirement, to enable sufficient quality control in admissions and ensure college classes can be taught at a college level. Second, for already admitted students, further assessment should be required to ensure that those who need remedial courses receive them. It's critical that UCSD, long considered a public ivy, restore its brand credibility with parents, policymakers, employers, and future applicants. The college has to ensure that a degree in 26, 27, and 2028 pledges that graduates carrying the parchment from the university actually completed a college education. That likely will require a math exit exam. Such institution-wide assessments and response will also demand fundamental curricular reform guided by sober-minded leaders, moving at speeds unknown among academic bureaucratic committees. The other 2 root crises are scarier. The revelation likely means the U.S. has millions of recent high school graduates and 20-somethings unprepared to navigate modern work and life and lack the logical problem-solving skills with which algebra has traditionally armed adolescents. But it gets worse. The students admitted to University of California, San Diego were on average receiving A grades in high school math classes that supposedly built multiple years beyond algebraic and arithmetic foundations. This is fraud. High schools have clearly been inflating grades beyond what many students earned or deserved. How could schools do such a disservice to taxpayers and, more important, to these students? Part of the blame can be assigned to pandemic learning loss. But who decided to pretend that students not remotely competent in the subject matter should be lied to and about that they had achieved mastery levels? Had this happened in a state that emphasizes accountability, the governor would lead an urgent investigation. But California Governor Newsom is testing the waters on a 2028 presidential campaign. It seems improbable he'll raise questions the left-wing teachers' unions, his would-be campaign allies, want left unasked. After all, the San Francisco United School District has been intentionally teaching less rigorous math since 2014 on the ridiculous claim that math is racist, with nary a peep of protest from Mr. Newsom until 82% of voters expressed disapproval for these anti-rigor policies at the ballot box last year. Given this vacuum of good leadership, Congress should hold hearings examining how these students were systematically failed and how federal tax dollars continued to pour into a system this fundamentally corrupt. A serious public should be paying attention to a crisis of this scale. It merits a full congressional investigation and bipartisan outrage. Instead, the conversation is likely to be hijacked by something more tribal and less productive, a partisan brawl. It's true. Goes on from there. But this is fraud. High schools are pushing kids out the door claiming they have A's and are honor students, and 2 plus 2 is a difficult math question for them. 2x equals 4. That's algebra. One of the things I learned growing up is that algebra, it's not just a math skill. It helps you with reasoning. It's not a coincidence, I don't think, that we become a more emotional people as our math skills have declined. 2x equals 4. You have to figure out how to solve that problem. Some of you will immediately know the answer. What is x? That's what you're going for. You're trying to solve for x. What do? Well, you divide each side by 2. So you make essentially fractions. 2x over 2 equals 4 over 2. On the left side of the equation, 2 divided by 2 becomes 1. Well, we know that whatever x is by 1 is going to be x equals 4 divided by 2 equals 2, so therefore x equals 2. The point is not actually that 2x equals 4 and x equals 2. The point is you got to figure out how to solve the problem. What do you do when you're confronted with this problem? And it's the logic in the math that teaches you how to confront problems in life. How do you analyze this problem, or a word problem? Go back to Ben Sass's original. Sarah has 9 pennies and 9 dimes. How many coins does she have in all? He's not asking how much she has. He's asking how many coins she has. That word problem has a logic to it, and you have to understand the question to be able to solve the answer by understanding the question and the wording. And what are they asking? Coins or amount? They're asking for coins, the amount of coins, not the amount of the value of the coins. There's a logic there. And as we have broken down logic in society, we have become a more emotional people, and logic is out the window. Reasonableness and reason are out the window. Our math skills that we're teaching high school students are more than just about math. I have said for years and years, and you go back to college and you go back to high school and middle school and you think, I'll never use this again. I will never use this skill again. You won't in that capacity, but what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to reason. And we've broken down the reasoning in society. I'm of the opinion that a lot of the problems we have with the emotionalness of society right now, where people are guided by emotions and not logic and reason, has to do with the collapse of math grades and reading. And there's a new report out debunking the literacy rates in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana. I've been talking a lot about how in Mississippi now you're more likely to graduate from high school able to read than in California. A progressive released a study trying to debunk it and made basic mistakes and actually suggested that because math grades in Mississippi aren't good, therefore the reading grades are exaggerated. That was his leap of logic. Because kids in Mississippi are having problems with math, therefore they're lying about their reading. And so the left can now take comfort in the fact that no, they're not actually better than us at reading. They just lied about it. That was the purpose of the report, was to make the left feel comfortable. You can't feel comfortable failing kids, but the left is comfortable murdering kids in the womb, so why not feel comfortable about lying to them? Teachers' unions are a scam, and parents are held hostage without the political clout to change things. I'll tell you what must happen if you have the opportunity to get your kid a better degree. Get your kid a better degree. Get your kid a better education. Get your kid somewhere where they're actually going to learn if you can. And if not, you got to stay involved. I saw a pastor the other day say it's a sin to send your child to public school. He's wrong. He's not telling the truth. He's lying. I don't think it's a good idea, but I also recognize there are some parents who can't afford to send their kid to a private school. And school choice in some states, even my state of Georgia, they advanced school choice. They didn't fund it properly. So a lot of parents can't take advantage of it who want a way out. Public schools are failing. Parents need a way out. School choice is a good way to give it to them. A lot of rural Republicans in the South don't like school choice because the public school systems in their counties are the biggest employers, so they kill it. We're having generations of kids being held hostage to the political whims of lobbies who are there to protect bureaucrats, not the minds of kids. We're failing the kids, Republicans and Democrats alike, although Republicans less so than Democrats because Republican states are teaching reading and advancing school choice as best they can. We could still do more. But these blue state kids are failing. They're falling behind. And the teachers' unions are unaccountable and protected by the politicians because they fund the politicians. The kids are held hostage. And meanwhile, we are degrading the ability of this country to meet the challenges of the 21st century and allowing other countries to get ahead of us. And that puts our national security at risk. And the Democrats, they're silent about it.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
221 Cool Ray Carrier Traffic Center. Watching the ride on the West Freeway, 20 eastbound, on and off the brakes, leaving Thornton Road where we had earlier trouble as you head over to I-285, the west side perimeter. Heading into downtown, 75-85 southbound. Getting a little sluggish from 17th Street down past Georgia Tech. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Win millions playing Powerball in-store or online at GALottery.com, so you can finally vacation to that luxurious island, or you could just buy it, only from the Georgia Lottery. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
WSP is your home of the Dogs.
When you're Georgia and Alabama, you're going to get everybody's best.
Number 3, Georgia. Number 9, Alabama. The SEC Championship game.
It's not picked by a committee. It was on the field.
Pregame begins at noon Saturday. Kickoff is set for 4.
You earned the opportunity to play in this game. This was not given.
Only on your home of the Dogs, 95.5 WSB. Brought to you in part by Hoffman Financial Group, official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs.
I love companies who respect my time. NG Turf is a family-owned company that delivers fresh, locally grown sod on your time, including Saturdays and without any fees. Sod is harvested from their farms around Atlanta and delivered fresh on their own trucks, direct to homeowners. ngturf.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. Call A1 Garage Door Service today.
A1 from day one.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the portfolio x-ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The portfolio x-ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the portfolio x-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the portfolio x-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Been wanting a new deck for your home, something that's built just the way you want it? But you're scared to pull the trigger? I can help you with that. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Right now, Ben Hill Renovations are offering special financing. No interest if you pay in full within the 18 months promo period. You're welcome. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry and dream engagement ring to be nothing short of perfect, no matter the price. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
'Tis the season. Have you gotten your flu shot? At All Care, our experienced flu specialists are dedicated to providing comprehensive and personalized care, from vaccines to testing to treatment. And you can walk right in to any of All Care's 15 Atlanta locations and access our unique combination of primary and immediate care under a single roof. For flu season and beyond, say goodbye to waiting for the doctor and say hello to All Care, a proud member of the Piedmont Clinically Integrated Network.
Spend your time with those who matter most this holiday season and sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
On the go, take Eric's podcasts with you. Available wherever you stream your favorite podcast. Search Eric Erickson.
Some breaking news for you. This is Congressman Jim Himes from Connecticut.
The Admiral confirmed that there had not been a kill them all order and that there was not an order to grant no quarter.
So does it exonerate Hegseth? Does it exonerate him?
That is Jim Himes, the Connecticut Democrat, saying Admiral Bradley confirms there was not a kill them all order or no quarters order from Secretary Hegseth. That is confirmation from the Democrats. There are some who are still expressing concerns about what they heard, but it seems like a lot of them are moving on to other things. There has been a press conference by the FBI. I will get that audio for you when we come back. Kash Patel and others at the White House saying that they have caught who they believe is the suspect. What's so notable is Democratic spin out of the gate. Mark Warner, Virginia, coming on and saying, how much earlier could we have caught the pipe bomber if FBI resources hadn't been diverted? The Biden team had 4 years to catch the pipe bomber and never did. The Trump administration, less than a year on the job, has been able to get it done. So trying to do as much partisan spin as he can here, it's not going to hold water. Just not going to hold water with the spin from the Democrats. We'll get to the FBI press conference and the answers that they can provide in the next half hour. But what we do know now, Democrats are coming out of the classified briefing with Admiral Bradley now beginning in some cases to downplay the attack on the boat in the Caribbean. Admiral Bradley, of course, they all like, and some of them were afraid that the Pentagon and the White House were trying to throw him under the bus. That does not appear to be so. Let me tell you about my bank, Old Glory Bank. OldGloryBank.com/Eric is where you can go to do business with Old Glory Bank. I would love to have you do business with Old Glory Bank. OldGloryBank.com/Eric. They're such good people. I would love for you to have the opportunity to do business with them. You go to oldglorybank.com/Eric today. You can get new accounts, checking accounts, savings accounts. You can do loans with them. You can do home loans with them. You can do CDs with them. They're good people. They were started by conservatives for conservatives. They've now expanded into one of the most rapidly growing banks in the country. oldglorybank.com/Eric. They are my bank. They would love to be your bank. oldglorybank.com/Eric. And again, I was a customer of theirs for a year and a half, 2 years before they became an advertiser on the program. I genuinely think that they are a great bank. I have had no problems with them. I've got no fee checking, no fee savings. They have interest-bearing checking accounts. They'll waive fees if you're active duty military. They're very hands-on if you're a business. They do great business lending. One of the fastest-growing banks in the country. oldglorybank.com/Eric. oldglorybank.com/ERICK. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. The feds identify a Virginia man accused of planting pipe bombs outside the Democratic and Republican national headquarters just before the January 6 Capitol riot.
Early this morning, Brian Cole Jr. was arrested and charged with placing the pipe bombs at the RNC and the DNC on January 5th, 2021.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says the arrest is the culmination of the work of multiple agencies and did not involve any new tips. A suspect is taken to the hospital in critical condition after an officer-involved shooting in Sandy Springs. It happened at the intersection of Dunwoody Place and Roswell Road. Sergeant Leon Milholland with Sandy Springs Police says they were speaking to an assault suspect.
While interviewing the offender, the individual pulled a weapon on the officers, and an officer shot the offender.
The GBI will investigate the shooting. No officers are injured. This just in, a federal vaccine advisory committee meeting in Atlanta delays a vote until tomorrow on whether newborns should still get the hepatitis B vaccine on the day they're born. For decades, the government has advised all babies be vaccinated against the liver infection right after birth. Lawmakers in the classified briefing on U.S. strikes on suspected Venezuelan narco boats say there was no kill order given. But Congressman Jim Hines of Connecticut says the video he saw of the September 2nd incident was troubling, claiming it showed two people near a destroyed vessel who were killed by the United States. It is now 2:32, and this news is sponsored by FGA Roofing. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. While everyone's focused on diet and exercise this new year, let's talk about the foundation of all health, sleep. Quality sleep strengthens your immune system, improves mental clarity, and helps regulate weight. Yet, we spend more time researching a TV purchase than our mattress. Your sleep affects every resolution you make this year. Visit the Original Mattress Factory and discover how the right mattress can support every health goal you've set for yourself.
Hey, it's Mark Aram here. I absolutely love this time of year because it's time for the 35th annual Clark's Christmas Kids. And once again, my friends at Rocco's European Garage stepping up in a huge way. They've been loyal supporters for years, helping make sure that every child in Georgia's foster care system receives gifts on Christmas morning. So a big thank you to the team at Rocco's European Garage who are committed to making a difference. And join us in supporting Clark's Christmas Kids to help bring joy to children who deserve it this holiday season.
It's still the greatest form of advertising, word of mouth. If we could bottle it and sell it, we'd be rich. But we can't. That's what keeps it honest. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons. From garage doors to entry doors to windows, for every opening of your home, we've got you covered. Talk to your neighbors. Chances are we worked on their home. They'll tell you all about their 5-star experience with All Four Seasons. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, seasonsgarages.com.
At 2:34, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Found a new crash in DeKalb County. It's in the right lane, 20 eastbound, Panola Road, exit 71. So slowing that ride again. That had been getting better because of the construction clear, but now you're jammed in from Wesley Chapel. Brake lights downtown, 75-85 northbound from I-20 up to Peachtree Pine Street. Southbound filling in from the 85-400 merge into Midtown. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cloudy and cool today, high 49. A few hit-or-miss rain showers for this afternoon. They'll continue into the evening hours, lows tonight in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, cloudy and cold, highs limited to the mid-40s. Scattered rain showers for tomorrow afternoon, tapering off in the evening hours. Dry but cloudy for Saturday, high near 50.
47 now in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Hello and welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. 877-973-7425 is the phone number. Should you wish to be on the program, I would be very happy to have you. We have a number of developments happening that I wish you to be aware of. In particular, we have we've got some information related to the pipe bomber of January 6th and also to the strike on the ship in the Caribbean. Senator Tom Cotton just spoke on Fox News as senators are coming out of a classified briefing with Admiral Bradley.
The first strike, the second strike, and the third and the fourth strike on September 2nd were entirely lawful and needful. I saw 2 survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs bound for the United States back over so they could stay in the fight. And potentially, given all the context we heard, of other narco-terrorist boats in the area coming to their aid to recover their cargo and recover those narco-terrorists.
That's Senator Tom Cotton. As now ABC News, you will note, leaked out last night with Martha Raddatz what the actual situation was. Now, there are some concerns. This is on CNN. Congressman Don Bacon of Nebraska, he's retiring, talking with the CNN anchor.
You mentioned that radioing because people briefed on the strike say that the Defense Department, this case they're making here is that they were still in the fight. I think that's the question, that these folks who were survivors were still in the fight because they appeared to be radioing for help. They could have theoretically continued trafficking the drugs. Do you think that's the case? Were they still in the fight?
I think it's very questionable. I think we're definitely in a gray area here, to be candid with you. The rules are they have to pose an imminent threat. And I think we could say they did not pose an imminent threat to our country. But I get to part of this argument that they were going to be rescued by the drug cartel, and some of these drugs would be saved. So I think we're operating in a gray area here, and I think it's worth having a hearing. I think it's worth reviewing this to see if we should make the rules more clear or not. But I don't think it's nearly as bad as it was initially reported. And for me, that's a relief, because I'm not here to, I have some criticisms of the secretary, but I like calling balls and strikes, and I want to make sure we're doing the right thing.
That's good. Don Bacon, who's been pretty critical, saying this is not as bad as we were first told. The Washington Post, of course, rushing out the story that now even Democrats are coming out saying it wasn't as advertised. While that's happening, we have this press conference. I want to play you some of the press conference. Kash Patel speaking at the Department of Justice. He's with Judge Jeanine, who is there as the U.S. Attorney for D.C., and with Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, with Dan Bongino as well, the Deputy Director of the FBI.
When you attack American citizens, when you attack our institutions of legislation, when you attack our nation's capital, you attack the very being of our way of life. And this FBI and this Department of Justice stand here to tell you that we will always refute it and combat it. We will provide the safest country the nation has ever seen under President Trump's leadership here. And that's what we did here today with great resolve on a case of massive public importance, as it should be. An individual who is now alleged to have placed multiple explosive devices to blow up multiple people and multiple officials, innocent civilians, is now arrested thanks to the brave men and women of the FBI and the interagency. I want to take a moment to thank the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Capitol Police, our brave prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and our leader, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, whose relentless work on this case made this possible. As the Attorney General said, we did not discover any new information. What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the Deputy Director and the ADIC of our Washington field office, brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence, sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do. As a result of that, we generated numerous investigative leads, executed multiple legal process with our U.S. attorney partners, and came to this conclusion today. And that is why we were able to safely secure this individual into custody. Remember, we are dealing with an individual who is alleged to have made bombs. We cannot do this sort of takedown in haste because it endangers the lives of law enforcement. And this FBI will never allow the lives of law enforcement and our prosecutors to be put in jeopardy. This execution was flawless in terms of teamwork, resilience, and just a good old-fashioned way of police getting the job done. When you let good cops be cops, this is what happens. I'm eternally grateful to the team behind me, to the leadership at the FBI who made this possible. But I do want to highlight, when I introduced the deputy, he made this case and so many others, including Summer Heat, his priority to come in here and solve it for the American people. And today, I'm proud to stand here before you and say, we solved it. He will have his day in court. The American public and the world will learn even more information through the legal process, as we have committed under this Attorney General. We are the most transparent law enforcement operation in U.S. history, but we are also going to make sure accountability is delivered to its fullest extent, and that happens in the courts of law with our U.S. attorneys and our prosecutors. So
that is Kash Patel, the director of the FBI. This is Dan Bongino, the deputy director of the FBI.
Thank you all for being here for this critical investigation we've been working on for a very long time. We deeply appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, Attorney General and Director. I appreciate it. Folks, this is what it's like when you work for a president who tells you to go get the bad guys and stop focusing on other extraneous things not related to law enforcement. This is what happens. We had a great team. I know it's said a lot in this business. It was a team effort. It becomes cliche, but cliches are useful for a reason because they matter. And this was a team effort. The director and the attorney general emphasized that it was not a new public tip this came from. This was our internal work at the FBI. And I want to just really express my sincere gratitude to this attorney general and this president for allowing us the latitude. I spoke with Ms. Bondi very early when we, maybe day 2, and I said, we're going to get this guy. And she said, yes, you are. And we did. I want to also thank, he's not here, but Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who we deal with often as well, who could not have been more supportive. Whatever process we need, Judge Janine, Todd, and Attorney General Bondi, they were there. All you had to do, they were a phone call away. And their team was amazing. We actually never had to make that phone call because they were always responsive. And thank you, Judge, as well. You were amazing. Folks, you're not going to walk into our capital city, put down 2 explosive devices, and walk off in the sunset. Not going to happen. We were going to track this person to the end of the earth. There was no way he was getting away. Well, we didn't have to track him to the end of the earth. It wound up in Woodbridge, Virginia. I want to thank the team. They were amazing. They never let this go. Again, Attorney General Bondi, for your incredible support. Director Patel, Judge, I know they're giving me a lot of unnecessary credit, but make no mistake, they were intimately involved in this and were there for all of those supportive mechanisms.
It's kind of great after all of the leaks out of both sides about how they hate each other, for the FBI and the DOJ to be singing each other's praises today. It's nice to have that. Meanwhile, over on MS Now, we've got the Trump administration turns out to have gotten the bad guy who appears to be just a general anarchist, was not a January 6th Trump supporter. Mark Warner trying to put the Democratic spin on this.
Get that. I do want to comment on the previous story very briefly. You know, I think it is good news if this perpetrator got arrested. But I got to tell you, it kind of makes me, looking at this crowd doing a victory lap, when all the senior FBI officials across all key divisions have been fired for political purposes, when in some field offices up to 45% of the FBI officers who are doing things like counter-espionage and cyber have been assigned to do immigration cases. It's a little rich that they're saying America is safer. How much earlier could we have caught this guy if resources hadn't been diverted? And I hope it would also remind folks that on January 6th, I was here at the Capitol on January 6th. It was an ugly, awful day. And this administration and this president basically pardoned all the perpetrators. You know,
Well, you could go on and make that case, Mark Warner, but this administration is the one that found the pipe bomber. This administration did. The FBI under this guy's team, the FBI that you insist every good person's gone, it's only the bad guys, the incompetent guys left, they're the ones who made the case. Christopher Wray and Joe Biden did not make the case. Christopher Wray and Joe Biden did not find the guy. That's just the truth. That's just the reality. So kudos to this administration for finding this. For a long time, people thought they had given up. Then you had that silly nonsense from The Blaze that it was this woman that they decided to, they named this woman who was innocent, tried to turn it and weave it into a conspiracy that it was a federal agent and maybe there were more and darker and sinister people involved, and it appears to be an anarchist who did it. I gotta end the show where I began the show today. You know, best as I have read it, best I've understood it, Glenn Beck is kind of retired from The Blaze, stepped back from The Blaze. I don't know what's going on with The Blaze these days, but they have gotten more and more people on The Blaze, on their video products, who seem more and more anti-Semitic, more and more white nationalists, more and more ethno-nationalist. Not a product I think the old team there would be proud of. They seem like they want to co-opt the Groypers, the Nick Fuentes crowd. They're elevating more and more people. I don't get it. I've got a number of friends who have left there in the past few years. And now they've done this thing where they decided to go out and identify who they thought and named a federal worker who they blamed for planting these pipe bombs, and they did it based on an analysis of walking. Essentially, as I understand it, I didn't watch their video because I knew it was probably crap to begin with. From what I understand, they did a walking analysis claiming that everybody's walk is kind of like a footprint. It's all unique, and based on the walking pattern of the person planting the bombs, it must have also been this woman who kept her head down for a while and came up with a video and said, actually, here I am in my backyard playing with my dogs on my Ring camera or whatever. Just absolutely bizarre that the Blaze went off the deep end with that. I mean, if she sues them, she's probably going to take them to the cleaners. For the FBI to come out and say, hey, we found the person. It's not that lady. It's somebody else. Turns out to be an anarchist. The lawyers and the insurance agents at the Blaze right now have got to be trying to settle with this one. I'm baffled by it. You know, in a past life, I was a lawyer for a news station, did First Amendment law for them. I cannot believe that was cleared to come out. The actual agents of the FBI, not the sleuths of the Blaze, have found who they say is the culprit. Turns out to be a man who lived in Woodbury, Virginia, not very far from Washington, D.C., who made pipe bombs and went to D.C., planted them at the DNC and the RNC, which right there should tell you this wasn't a partisan. And yet many partisans on the left insisted it must be a Republican, and they just did the RNC to distract. And many Republicans said it must be a Democrat. They just did the DNC to distract. And the shoe leather beat detectives of the FBI said, probably if they're planning at the RNC and the DNC, we're looking for an anarchist, not actually a partisan. And guess what? They were right. They did a really good job. You know, I have said more than once, as much as you and I can complain about the upper echelons of the FBI, that the guys on the street do a good job. The guys in the field offices of the FBI, they're there because they have a passion to keep people safe and to fight bad guys. And they have done that with this. We will learn more about the evidence. We will hear more about the investigation. We will learn more about this guy and his story and does he have an alibi and all of that. But for now, it looks like what we have seen is the agents of the FBI have done a very good job. It has taken them 5 years, no new evidence, no witnesses, no new people ratting the guy out. They just followed the evidence. They got the video cameras. They followed the path. They led the trail. They found the guy, and he's now arrested. Allegedly the bomber. We'll see how this plays out. Good job, FBI agents.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
250 Corday Carrier Traffic Center. Earlier crash in the cab. I-20 eastbound Panola Road, exit 71. That has cleared. Seeing brake lights, 285 northbound. The inner loop, that's slowing from South Atlanta Road up to I-75. Looks like it's that ramp from 285 east to 75 North Chimney up there. Crash cleared in Douglas County, 20 westbound before Post Road. Traffic brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. Don't wait. Find a location at macy'sbackstage.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Friday at 5 for Atlanta's Morning News, we'll help you plan with the weekend forecast. We'll get you ready for the SEC Championship. And Mike Clark Howard says, do not fall for this travel deal on WSB.
It's my favorite time of year. I love spending time with family, enjoying delicious, nutritious food and bread. That's right, real bread, not the enriched stuff you see on the shelves. This is Sue from Bread Beckers in Woodstock with Sue's Healthy Minute. My family and I were blown away by the health benefits of making real bread from freshly milled whole grains. After more than 30 years in business, we have heard thousands of stories from satisfied customers who found improved health from eating real bread. We invite you to come check out the Bread Becker store in Woodstock this holiday season. We offer a complete line of grains, beans, sweeteners, and more. Our top-of-the-line kitchen equipment or infused oils and vinegars are sure to be the perfect gift for that special someone. Let us teach you how to make your own real bread to improve your family's health. Take that first step to a healthier life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are part of healthcare sharing now because it just makes so much sense right now. And Medi-Share is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. Medi-Share has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's December 15th. Call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Your non-stop news source. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Text ERIC to 33777 and get the 4 Things You Need to Know podcast. ERIC tells you the 4 things to pay attention to after the show. Also available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app.
The president has hired a new architect to design the White House ballroom. The current architect is going to remain on the team, but the president apparently wants the ballroom to be so big, the architect he picked told him it would overshadow the White House, and he wasn't comfortable building a ballroom that's actually bigger than the White House. The White House is a giant building. You know, it was the biggest home in the nation when the United States was founded. Not making that up. The White House actually, we think of it as not a palace, but it was actually the largest home in the country when it was built in the late 1700s before John Adams moved in there. And the president decided he wants a bigger ballroom. You know what's going to be ironic here is the president's ballroom is going to get rebuilt before a single home in the Palisades in Los Angeles. Think about that. They're going to have torn down the east wing of the White House and built a ballroom before a single home. Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, has bragged about the first home that got built. They turned it into a big deal. And then she had to delete all of her social media references because people pointed out that the first house built after the fire was actually built by a company that got its permits approved before the fire. They had built and were planning to tear down a vacant home, and the fire got the home. They cleared the lot. They built the house. It's a spec house to be built. So not a single person who lost a home in the fire in Los Angeles has even begun to rebuild. They're all still out of their houses. Karen Bass praised the building of a house that was going to be built on land before the fire, and the fire helped them out and did them a solid. I actually do think the president is going to have built this ballroom before a single home is built in the palace, which is going to be remarkable and a testament to how dysfunctional California is. The people of California vote for this stuff. They get what they deserve in this sort of stuff. I feel bad for the people who don't support it. But, I mean, you get the government you vote for. And this is what they voted for in California. Now, I want you to go to EdenPureDeals.com and vote for the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. It's great stocking stuffer for Christmas. If you got friends you want to send them a little hint, you need something for your travel bag, EdenPureDeals.com. Put in the discount code ERIC3. You'll get 3 Eden Pure Thunderstorms for less than $200, saving $200. EdenPureDeals.com. That is the website, EdenPureDeals.com. Discount code ERIC3. Now, what do you get with the Eden Pure Thunderstorm? You get 3 of them. One for your upstairs, your downstairs, your basement, your travel bag, your RV, wherever you need them. What do? Well, they get rid of dust and pollen and pet dander. They kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. They wipe out every odor. They generate ozone. And with ozone is known to, essentially, it's like an odor bleach. It touches the odor particles and eliminates them. And so it wipes out, just as bleach wipes out stains, ozone wipes out odors, and it just works. It works great. I've used it in rental cars and hotel rooms when people have smoked. Get 3 of them, save $200, get them for less than $200. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC3, ERICK3.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
We only want to be around people who think exactly like us.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
God forbid you actually converse about the world.
Eric Von Haessler.
Smash and conquer, my friend.
Eric Von Haessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
Gosh, it feels like it's been so many years I've talked about skimming scams. That's where main target, you go to pay at a pump at a gas station, and a criminal has put a little device there that captures the number on your credit or debit card. Well, new reports from law enforcement show that this scam is actually growing again, and you need to be aware that if you pay at the pump, do not do it with a debit card unless you can tap to pay. In fact, the best way to pay at the pump are at the pumps that now offer the ability for you to pay with Apple Pay or Google Wallet. Those are the safest ways for you to pay pretty much anywhere anyway, because every time you do a transaction, even if a criminal's hacking, it sends a unique one-time code that's useless to them.
I'm Clark Howard.